Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, come here, come here, woo! Oh my God, it's a 6-pounder, dude. Boom!
It's the Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain, being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
That was the highlight of a morning that was pretty much a continuous highlight reel on this place right here. Lake Champlain, 4th stop of the year for the Bassmaster Elite Series. We are deep into day number 2. Competition, moving day. You got to be in the top 40 at the end of this day. But what we have seen so far, Mark Zona on this lake this morning, I mean, we thought yesterday was good. It is off the chain today.
Exactly right. Fair to say OMG in a big way. Taking a look at our, that's what the kids say, Tommy Sanders.
I hear you.
Take a look at our playing field. Last week we were on the St. Lawrence River, Lake Ontario. This week right on the border of New York and Vermont, a monster, Lake Champlain. You see Ticonderoga about, call it 70, 80 miles south of our takeoff up there in Plattsburgh, New York, which seems to be where the majority of the action is this time around. Really, the entire tournament has been dominated on the north end of Lake Champlain.
Well, for decades, this particular body of water here has been one of the primo destinations for bass fishing in general and for the Bassmasters in particular. And this time around, it's proving to be a perfect playing field for this very important tournament right as we approach the midway point in our season. So pleased to be with you today. So happy to be able to bring you Bassmaster Live. Tommy Sanders, Mark Zona here in the Bassmaster Studios, and we are ready to go. If it's anything compared to this morning, it will be well worth your time to check it out.
Look, gang, this is the best way to put it. Lake Champlain, every time the Bassmasters goes there, one of the best bodies of water in the country. And today, this morning, it absolutely showed that, no doubt about it.
All right, we got the crew back in place, ready to go here with the second half, taking you all the way to weigh-in time. Over there, Ronnie and Such, Mike Such-Sukon, what are you watching today?
Oh, when you're hot, you're hot. We got 5 guys who finished in the top 10 at St. Louis are back at it here.
A killer top 10 to start this day and now as well. And Ronnie?
I'm looking forward to seeing how our top 8 who are on camera today after day 1 weigh-in, 4 of them caught all smallmouth yesterday, 1 of them caught all largemouth, and we had 3 mixed bags. I want to see how those 5 fish limits pair out for those guys today, whether they target smallmouth, largemouth, or both.
Well, plenty of action going on out on the water right now. We want to kind of fill you in on what the action we've seen so far today, this morning. This is the former champion from here in New York, Brandon Polinick.
And if you're really just tuning into this tournament, it's a kind of pick your poison event. Do you go after a little bit of the more plentiful smallmouth? You dedicate your time to the bigger largemouth, a little bit less of those, or do you mix it up? We're really going to talk about that, break that down the next 3.5 hours. But it seems like watching guys like Brandon Polinick, and there's going to be a host of others that we're covering today, the more plentiful, bigger smallmouth have been on the Vermont side so far in this tournament. Numbers a little more on the New York side.
Just get in here. Just get in this boat. Coming up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome back to live. Welcome back to live. You guys were away, but
Thank you for that, Brandon Polinick. That was one of those smallmouth tanks from here on Lake Champlain. Now to Micah Frazier. He's been super tough the past 2 weeks.
Exactly right. Currently 4th place right here. Micah Frazier with yet another solid smallmouth performance. Winning last year on the St. Lawrence River. Micah Frazier, a man of very few words, but when he says something, you can generally take it to the bank. One of the anglers saying, no, trust me, by the end of this tournament, smallmouth will dominate and more than likely win the event. Said that after the day 1 weigh-in.
Micah Frazier, don't take your eyes off that guy. Most folks are betting he will be here among the top 10 who will fish on Sunday for the trophy.
Exactly right. Micah Frazier, one of the anglers fishing the inland sea, the Vermont side of Lake Champlain. And really, he just fell on a load of deep water smallmouth. 20 all the way down to 50, 55 feet of water, fishing very near 100 feet of water on Lake Champlain, an area that he feels will reload every day.
Well, you saw at the opening there, Seth Feider with that game changer, largemouth. Earlier this morning, he is in second place right now. When we went to break, we took our time off this morning. He was in a tie with our leader, Jamie Hartman. Right now, he is half a pound back.
Seth Feider definitely ahead of schedule early this morning. Want to get some what he calls filler fish, bonus smallmouth early, and then make those upgrades with largemouth on day one. His entire 5 bass limit. That's the deal here, gang. You catch 5 bass and then upgrade from there. Earlier today, the smallmouth showed back up for Seth Feider until he made that transition to the bigger largemouth.
3.5.
He says he's a largemouth guy, but he is equally adept at catching both of these subspecies here.
Yes, sir.
He's definitely one of the pre-tournament favorites.
But it was when he made the move to the inland sea, fishing for those better than average size largemouth, catches that one, and then this giant.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, come here, come here, woo-hoo-hoo! Oh my God, oh my God, it's a 6-pounder, dude. Boom! Give me some. Where's Noah?
Boy, what an experience for any angler, let alone someone in the thick at the top of the leaderboard in a major championship. Now to our leader to start this day, and our leader right now, New York native Jamie Hartman.
Exactly right, Jamie Hartman. If there's ever going to be a problem for Seth Feider this week, it is going to be this guy right here. Cut his teeth fishing Lake Champlain. A lot of regional victories. Posted 2 wins last year, the Bassmaster Elite Series, and landed, here's the best way to put it, landed on the mother lode of smallmouth early this morning, not far from our takeoff.
I could see the hook. Look at that. Right on the...
Followed the same game plan yesterday, was not, it's definitely ahead of schedule today. He caught them bigger and more frequently earlier today.
Well, one of the things that we had yesterday morning, we had a lot of cloud cover mixed with sun, and every time those clouds would come in, a smallmouth, generally a sight feeder, they tend to shut down. Not the case this morning, and a lot of Jamie Hartman smallmouth early today, better than average. Really the key on this body of water, you need to scare that 4-pound average mark. Look for that today into the rest of the weekend.
Of course, he was in a tie after Feider caught that giant that we saw just a few moments ago for a good bit of time this morning. And he broke that tie with this fish right here.
Super strong. Maybe not, man. I don't know. I'm so used to looking. Man, he's hooked good too.
This was a big one earlier today with Jamie Hartman.
Yeah, oh gosh, he choked it. That works. That's a helper.
That would have afforded him the upgrade to move half a pound, as we say, ahead of Seth Feider as it stands right now.
One of the things with Jamie Hartman yesterday, after he caught those largemouth or those smallmouth early,
Started out like a flurry. I'm happy to have what I have for sure. It was a quick start today. Well, we had a quick start today, and it's kind of been a little slower since then. Trying to catch a big fish. I've caught plenty of fish in between, but I'm looking for that one more 4-pounder. I'd love 2 more, but I'd love to get 1 more 4-pound smallmouth and then go looking for them largemouth, but I don't have a really good area for the largies that I'm not sure of, but the smallies seem to be biting, so I'm kind of putting my eggs in this basket right now. I still got a bunch of time left. 3 hours and almost 4 hours. So I just love to
pluck one of these big smallmouth and keep going and go look around. That was the plan early. I said, I'll get another four pounder pretty quick and be able to go head hunting, but it's not been that easy to get a big bite. Not sure why. I haven't lost any, but just not getting a big bite. They're biting though. They definitely are biting for me. I just poked around in this area right here. We'll see. There's kind of a little sweet spot to it. There's one. That is not big enough. Live action. Come here, sweetie. Dude, I pulled on that fish, and this is the other problem I'm having right here. I yanked on that fish as soon as it bit, just about. And they are just choking it. And I mean straight up, like choking it. Every one of them was way down in there. I mean, it's not terrible when they're big, but I've been able to turn this hook and get him to pop right out, but skinny little guy.
Well, there they are, side
Man,
by
it's
side.
There he goes.
Leader Jamie Hartman with an 8-ounce advantage over Seth Fighter on the right there. Fighter started today in third place, a couple of pounds back, cut that lead down, and actually took the lead for a while.
And really a very similar game plan. A lot of folks thought coming into this tournament that it would be a mixed bag deal, smallmouth and largemouth.
Had a good morning so far. Got enough weight to be where I think I need to be. Should be, top 3 after today. And now I'm just hunting for new stuff. Did manage to find one good spot already. Another spot that had some fish on it. We're getting some here and there, but I'm just looking around and trying to find more water for the next 2 days. We got real fortunate. Didn't have to burn my primary area too bad, and now I'm hunting around. And I think I shook off one big one for sure, and got a couple other areas that got some fish in them. I don't think they're anything special, but definitely one good spot. And just looking for more. We got, about 3 more hours. I'm just gonna keep fishing new water, try to, find another place or two that has some big fish on it, and hopefully it'll carry me through the weekend.
Hey, something you don't hear, Tommy.
Just been idling around.
Day 2 of an event, an angler, if you don't follow the Bassmasters, shaking bites off, not setting the hook on them, purposely not putting them in the boat. You know what that means? Life is good
Life
in that
is
boat
good
right now.
for now, at least. He's talking about for Saturday, for Sunday. It is a 4-day event. We'll cut down to the top 40 after today, and only the top 10 after tomorrow, after Saturday's action, will make it to championship Sunday. And that's the way they are right now, as we say. Jamie Hartman with the lead, not much of one, over Seth Fighter, an 8-ounce lead over Seth Fighter. Scott Canterbury, last year's Angler of the Year. Wasting no time to get back in the middle of the game right now. Micah Frazier, Brandon Polinick, who we saw just a little bit ago, and some names we will get to later. Please stay with us. We have got a barn burner going on Lake Champlain.
The Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain is being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
What do a taco and a taco truck have in common? Nothing. If you want to play, you need a Tacoma.
When I'm on the road for work or for fun, I always like to have a reliable generator around. This open frame inverter from Champion is ideal because it's lighter than a standard open frame generator and more affordable than a traditional inverter. The remote start helps me start up the generator or shut it off without having to leave my camper. It provides essential power for things like charging my boat batteries, also makes life a lot more comfortable for myself and my family.
Introducing the Bass U TV app. Get the most out of your Bass U TV subscription and learn on the go with the Bass U TV app. Unlimited access to 700 plus training videos. Multiple new releases each week, including seminars, on-water videos, live shows, interviews, and other original content. The Bass U TV app. Never stop learning.
Pre-collision system, standard, on the 2020 Tacoma, so you can go from one epic playground to the next. If you want to play, you need the Tacoma.
The Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain is brought to you by Power Pole, Skeeter Boats, Yamaha, and by Toyota.
Today's the day to make a move. We got the full field of 85 fishing again out here for the second day in a row. You got to move into the top 40. Or you're going to beat it on down the road for a ways. You'll be done, wrapped up here. Jamie Hartman, 8-ounce lead over Seth Fider. Boy, it is very tight right now. And you look at our top 10, about 5.5 pounds separate them. That's as wide open as it's been all day. It's usually tighter than that when we come to a place like Champlain.
And it will be tight at the end of the day. Every single, we actually opened the broadcast yesterday on ESPN2. Every time we come here, number one, you have to scare that 4-pound average. For 4 days, you had better be near 80 pounds. The other side is there is never, ever a runaway on this lake like we saw between two anglers last week on Lake Ontario.
Yes, we had a different looking and a different setup for our final day. For our Humminbird lay of the lake and take a look at this 100 miles of incredible water here. 14 miles wide at its widest, 500 square miles, not 500 acres, 500 square miles of fishing on Lake Champlain.
Exactly right. Our Humminbird lay of the lake is a little bit different this time around from years past. All the way up from Plattsburgh, New York, down to Ticonderoga, New York. You're looking at about 75 miles in between. And every time we come here, there are a few anglers that rise down near Ticonderoga. Not this time around. This time around is really all within, call it 15 miles of our takeoff in Plattsburgh.
Like all huge bodies of water in this part of the world, very susceptible to weather, especially when the wind gets up. Luckily for us, this time around, unlike the last day last week, we've had almost perfect weather conditions, a few showers yesterday.
And really, if you look at the weather predominantly that we've had in New York last week, this week, Mother Nature, except for one day, has been very, very kind to our Bassmaster angler, which usually never happens in this part of the country.
Yes. I got to tell you, one time I saw a billboard advertising an aquarium, said, come see how the other 2/3 lives, meaning 2/3 of the world lives underwater. To know what's underwater here at Lake Champlain is very, very important to all our anglers, and to that esteemed gentleman right there, our own Dave Mercer. He's going to take us and with our Yamaha unlock the lake and kind of give us a view and give us an idea of what these guys are dealing with beneath the surface.
Well, guys, a beautiful, beautiful day out here, and a beautiful day like this makes you want to go swimming, and that's exactly what I did. Got in the water to look at zebra mussels. We talk about them a lot, and we know they're an invasive species. At one time, everybody said these would end our lakes. Midway through the 80s, they started showing up in the Great Lakes, and right around 1993, they started showing up here on Lake Champlain. And I think our very own Mark Zona explains it best. What have zebra mussels done to the lakes? Well, they've cleared them up and basically given the smallmouth bass X-ray vision. So they've helped us anglers and made it a lot better in one way, but they also hurt you in another way. This entire lake is covered with them, every single hard surface. If you go swimming, you need to wear footwear or you're going to get cut up. when you catch a fish, when you see those little edges, the first thing that fish wants to do is charge down around one of those rocks or around a piling that is covered with those mini razor blades. And those mini razor blades might not be able to defend themselves much, but how they defend themselves is with that sharp, sharp edge. That can be the enemy of the angler. It's made it a lot clearer, making fishing a lot better, but it's also made it a lot tougher in some situations. But that is an underwater look of our friend, the zebra mussel.
Dave, really one of the things looking at that footage right there, and you have fished Lake Champlain a lot, is how dramatically, not just Lake Champlain, but any of the connecting waterways throughout the north, just how clear it's made these bodies of water over a small period of time.
It really has, and that's what the mussel does. I mean, that's how they feed. They basically filter water through them, and when you look at how everything is coated with them, they're tiny. I mean, the biggest they grow is 2 inches, but those tiny little things cover the entire bottom, and it's like covering the bottom of the lake with super sharp filters, but those filters make it incredibly clear.
Dave, incredible pictures. Thank you for that right there. Nothing tells a story like to get those amazing underwater photography going right there. And our thanks to Dave Mercer for a fantastic report and kind of opening up. That's our Yamaha Unlock the Lake.
Whether I'm going flipping or I'm going over the inland sea, so I just don't know if I can catch them flipping. I don't know if I can catch a big one flipping.
One thing to hit on that Mercer was talking about a zebra mussel, if you don't bass fish, a smallmouth is a sight feeder, okay? So if you go back to the 80s and 90s where it was pre-zebra mussel, visibility on a lot of the Great Lakes or a Lake Champlain, 4 or 5 feet of water generally on a clear day. So post-zebra mussel, it's basically made a sight feeder. It's given him 20/20 vision, okay? So now you have a bass that used to feed where his strike zone radius was 3 to 5 feet. Now he can feed 15 to 20 feet over and over and over again. And that's where you really have seen not the population explode, you've just seen the average size of bass get bigger throughout the last decade.
Well, every new introduced species has consequences, some of them good, some of them bad, certainly been good for the fishing and also hazardous for the fishing, as Dave pointed out so very well. Now, where we were last week, another introduced species, the goby, who came over in tanker ships, have totally changed the game with regard to smallmouth, yet it's not happened here. Even though they're in here, they have not thrived like they do on the St. Lawrence.
That is really weird because we talked about that a little bit yesterday. The St. Lawrence River all the way to Minnesota. So the St. Lawrence River goes, through every single Great Lake then. You got Ontario, Huron, Erie, Lake Michigan. They are infested with zebra mussels and goby. So you have clear water and you have a buffet. And this is connected to the St. Lawrence River, yet guys have caught goby here, but they've not infested this lake like a lot of the tributaries on the Great Lakes, at least so far, because when it happens, you see the smallmouth size explode almost instantly.
By 15 to 20%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One day the research will tell us why that is. We'll wait that day as we continue to watch. Our leader, Jamie Hartman, he's doing some thinking out here. He's, all these guys, the wheels are grinding, the math is being done all day long. They got to find the fish to sustain them through 4 days.
And really looking at Canterbury Fighter, Hartman, these guys have made it look, if you watched our broadcast yesterday here on ESPN2 or the footage that we had from earlier this morning, there have been hundreds of bass caught from our field, to 1,000 bass. It is so incredibly hard to scare that 4-pound average here. These guys have made it look very easy, but it's much easier said than done, just for the simple fact that the majority of bass here average right around that 3-pound mark.
Going to move now from Jamie Hartman, our leader, over to David Mullins, who started the day. The angler from Tennessee in our top 10. He fell out of that for a good spell. He's still just under the top 10, but Been working hard to turn things around for the last 2 hours.
This was moments ago with David Mullins.
Oh, no! 3 1/4.
Could have used that one.
It is slick calm out there.
Wow.
One in a million
That
a
is
day.
so rare here. That weather is so strange to see on Lake Champlain. If you live there, you also know that.
Missing that fish, Mullins might have called into the top 10.
He'll keep knocking at the door. You can count on that for the rest of our afternoon, which for here, for our purposes, takes us to 3 o'clock. That's when the weigh-in starts, and that's when the reckoning begins. Who's going to get to fish on the weekend and who is not? Everyone's doing the math. Everyone knows pretty much, at least has an idea, notion of what they need to catch in order to make it into that cut line. You fellas don't have to worry about it.
No doubt about it. If you got to watch our broadcast yesterday, big, big afternoon fireworks. It will be a catch fest today.
Another look at our leaderboard right now, and as we say, Hartman, 8 ounces advantage over Seth Fider. Scott Canterbury moved up quickly into the top 10 today. Brandon Polinick, we spent some time with him. Stetson Blaylock as well. We'll see some more movement. Of course, it happens all afternoon. And the fish catching has been fantastic. We expect that to continue as well here on Bassmaster Live.
The Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain is being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
You don't know their names yet, but you will.
It's been said that a bad day of fishing is better than a good day at work. Getting you to that fishing spot is key, and Bully Dog gets your truck road ready. No matter where, we give you the horsepower and towing torque right when you need it. We make getting there better. Make your ride a Bully Dog.
At Mercury, we invested thousands of hours of engineering manpower so you can enjoy hours and hours of untapped horsepower. Introducing the all-new V6 Mercury Pro XS. Light, quick, efficient. Mercury, go boldly. At Mercury, there are no limits to what we'll do to make sure you have no limits either. Introducing the all-new V8 Mercury Pro XS. Light, quick, efficient. Mercury, go boldly.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain, being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
Bassmaster Live bringing you all the competition all the way up into weigh-in time today, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow, when we get started out here on Lake Champlain, on the app, you can catch it starting at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. And then at noon Eastern Time, we'll be right here on ESPN2 to again take you all the way to that all-important third day weigh-in, which determines our 10 who will fish for the championship. We have had so many highlights today. We could take up our time showing you highlights, tremendous stuff. Right now, though, it's B&W trailer hitch is on the line. Our own Davey Hyde is out there. He's going to sort of reset the scene for us for this afternoon. Davey?
So this is just absolutely incredible. I had to give you this shot here. Mark Zona, I know you've been here. Tommy, you have too. But if you've never been to the inland sea on Lake Champlain, take a look at this because it doesn't happen very often. I've never seen it just this slick, calm. It absolutely looks like a picture and nothing but glass here. Now, we had a lot of wind last week, especially the tail end of the week. And then yesterday morning, some of the anglers said, man, I wanted it to be slick calm so I could fish top water. When the sun gets high and it gets this calm, some of these anglers that are targeting smallmouth, they're praying for a little wind. As fishermen, we always want something that we don't have. We need wind, we don't need wind, we need clouds, we don't need clouds. But really and truly, these smallmouth are sight feeders, and because the water is so clear here, when that sun's up high, they can see your baits just a little too well. I just talked to Shane Lineberger, who has caught some nice fish on top water. He said just a few minutes before I got there, he had a fish swirl at his bait 3 times before it finally got it. Then he ended up losing that fish because they're just, they want to feed, but then they realize something isn't just quite right. So you can get bites, especially on top water when it's like this, but it's hard to land those big fish. Number one, they just don't get it very well. But number two, you see how they jump and they fight, and they're just, if you don't have them hooked well, they're going to be really, really tough to catch. So the next segment, I'm going to go into the marinas and talk about the vegetation in the cover. But if there would just be a little bit of wind out here for these smallmouth anglers to catch those 312s, 314s, 315s, 4-pounders, hard to find. Jamie Hartman caught a few of those this morning. That's why he's our leader. He's right there with Seth Fighter. But if we could just get a little bit of wind out here in this inland sea, I think you'll see some really cool action this afternoon, a lot of those smallmouth being caught.
Davey, a lot of history for the Bassmasters coming to Lake Champlain. Now, granted, places that we go throughout the country, we see bigger bass, Texas, Florida, Alabama. But put into perspective the true numbers of bass caught in a Bassmaster tournament on Champlain compared to those other areas that we go throughout a season.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, when you look at the weights and you see there were a lot of 17, 18, 19-pound stringers caught, and even a couple 20s, you just don't realize those are the 5 largest fish, and you think, well, maybe the guy caught 7 or 8 fish. I talked to some anglers that weighed in 17 pounds yesterday that caught 30 or 40 smallmouth bass. So that's what makes our sport so interesting. You can't get caught up in a numbers game. You got to bring in the 5 largest bass each and every day, and there's a lot of strategy that goes on there. You can catch 3-pounders, and everybody loves to do that when you're fun fishing, but when you're fishing for a blue trophy for $100,000, which somebody will receive on Championship Sunday, you've got to think, how can I catch that 4-pounder? How can I catch that 5-pounder? We saw Jamie Hartman do it yesterday. That's what put him atop the leaderboard. We saw Seth Fighter do that today. A lot of strategy goes on there. That's what makes it so interesting to see the guys that can leave 3.5-pound fish biting to go try to get that 1 or 2 5 or 6-pound bites and put that fish in the boat.
Great, Davey Hyde out there on the water. Thank you so much, Davey, for that. We're looking forward to your promised report on what's different with the vegetation, with the grass this time around, because it definitely is.
Yes, and we're going to talk about a couple of the real keys to some of that milfoil here, that grass that a lot of these guys, Seth Fighter, that they're hunting for. You see David Mullins hooked up right here.
Got a move from Tyler Rivette from Louisiana. 2 4-pound fish in the last half hour. He's jumped from 50th place to 13th, trying to knock inside our top 10.
He got me in the shirt. He's got my shirt.
That's trouble.
I got him though. He might have some meat. I don't know. I think it's in my head, in my daggone arm. I don't really know how to do this. I think it's in my arm.
This is a problem.
Pretty sure it is. Hang on.
You got a smallmouth that could go nuts at any minute here.
Yep.
Stay docile.
Stay still. 2 flops,
Oh,
I'm
gosh.
done.
Get ready to avert your eyes if you're squeamish. If that fish gets active.
Okay, I got him loose.
All right.
I think it's
That's
still
good.
warm though. We'll find out how bad here in just a second.
Still got a cold.
This is a Sports Center, not so top 10.
No.
This is not good.
Still has to cold too, remember that.
I got it. I'm dreading looking at this.
Sorry.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He's starting to feel it now. He wasn't feeling it with his heart racing, now he's feeling it.
I think it's all the way through. It's a good thing. Oh, it come out right there. Whew.
Just
Did you hear it pop?
I did.
Dodged a little pain there.
Davey Height said it. I warned. Yeah, we could see a hook go in him earlier today.
Look at this, and very smart move. I mentioned he has to cull. You don't want to get distracted in that moment. You want to get the crankbait out, but he caught one. He has 6. He has not started fishing again, so still find a cull and throw one back. But people can often forget in that moment.
Had that happen recently a couple times.
Look at Brandon Polinick on the left there. Speaking of hooks, etc.
No,
and
no,
such.
let's not do this.
Yeah, you remember his first victory with the Bassmaster Elite Series there on Bull Shoals Lake in Arkansas? I think it was day 2 competition. He was cruising along there. I mean, he was having a great term. I'm sorry, it's 2012, not 2013. Yeah, you see the bandage on his hand right there. Well, that was the result of a trip. A hook incident that didn't turn out as well as it did turn out for David Mullins. Had to go to the hospital there, the Baxter County Hospital. And this is a place with 2 giant lakes there that they have a wall of shame, which is things that are dug out of the hands and appendages of fishermen.
Wall of pain, Tommy, I think they call it.
The wall of pain at this hospital in Arkansas. There we go. This is good after lunch too.
Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, better than before.
Brandon Polinick got stitched up, bandaged. Now here's the thing, hold on, for everybody here on ESPN2. This is the wall of pain. Notice on the right, there's a chainsaw blade.
Yeah. I want to know the story behind that.
Not really. Oh my gosh.
Oh my word, that's an impressive, that's a breathtaking sight there for anyone checking into the old emergency room.
Bass lures, trout lures for the White River.
Brandon's done okay since then. He's become a Bassmaster Angler of the Year, and he won 2 more times since then as well, including here in the Empire State in New York.
That was back when he couldn't grow any facial hair. Not that he has a bunch now, but he can actually grow it. And he was such a young pup back then. Which I can talk, I mean, seriously.
Hey, Brandon, do you have a bad memory from a hook from Bull Shoals?
That was a great memory. I won the Derby. That was the first time I won 100 grand. That was a great memory.
That's what you do with the uncomfortable memories. You just block them out and accentuate the positive.
It was a 6-pound class fish that got him, though, that put the hook in his finger. It was the biggest fish of the day, I believe.
Brandon Polinick currently in 5th place right now as it stands. He's having an excellent tournament. He's definitely part of the conversation last week on the St. Lawrence River. Brandon Polinick, a lot of love for this part of the country, and who wouldn't? I mean, look at the beauty, natural beauty, the perfect summertime destination, and for Jamie Hartman and Seth Feider. I know we're not paying so much attention to the scenery right now, but we have got a battle royal going on at the top of the leaderboard. It's important to think about position number 40 as well. We'll talk about that when we get back.
The Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain is being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
Wherever the trail gets rough, and the mud gets deep, you'll find a Toyota Tacoma. It's the best-selling compact pickup in America for 12 years, and it's not because we baby them. If you want to play, you need a Tacoma.
It's been said that a bad day of fishing is better than a good day at work. Getting you to that fishing spot is key. And Bully Dog gets your truck road ready. No matter where, we give you the horsepower and towing torque right when you need it. We make getting there better. Make your ride a Bully Dog.
Your time on the water is precious. You return season after season to make unforgettable memories. Fight a few fish, reconnect with friends, and recenter yourself. If you count on having this time, you need an outboard you can count on to power it. That's why boaters stay with Yamaha for the long run, for life. They know reliability starts here.
If you want to play, you need a Tacoma.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain, being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
Such a pleasure to be able to bring you Bassmaster Live, this live competition at the very top of the sport here. 2020 Bassmaster Elite on Lake Champlain, this iconic lake in the world of bass fishing. And man, oh man, are we getting great results this time around. You never take anything for granted, but you pretty much depend on Lake Champlain to bring it. That's certainly been the case this time around. Jamie Hartman on top, 8 ounces ahead of Seth Feider, and the focus we talked about right before we went away. Position number 40. If you're in that position, you get to go on and fish tomorrow. If you miss out, you are on down the road a ways.
And I guess one of the surprising things is a lot of the anglers around that cut line had very, very good days yesterday. That is one of the hardest things to do here on Lake Champlain, staying consistent, hovering around that 18 to 20 pounds. And a few of our anglers there from 36 to 45th, they have not done their job today.
Boy, need to get on. You got to get something going today. It's moving day, so you have to make a move if you're below position 40. There's the battle. There's the tail of the tape right there, the tail of the live well. When fish number 1 through 5 came for these two anglers, Hartman and Feider.
And those are guesstimations right there. Those are not exacts. Right. You do not follow the Bassmasters here on ESPN2. That's a ballpark guess. And I'm going to tell you, with looking to the right, we got to do this last week a little bit with Chris Johnston, your winner. Looking at Seth Feider's weight, I'm going to say he's got more than 19 pounds and 12 ounces. Yes.
Sometimes that is the case, more often than not, as a matter of fact. Usually at the top of the leaderboard. Jamie Hartman, though, a great, great effort all morning long and into the afternoon. It pushes now as we head closer and closer to 3 p.m. It's basically the cutoff.
Hartman started today 2 pounds even over Feider.
Which is
22 pounds 1 ounce to 20 pounds 1 ounce.
It's live now. Jamie Hartman?
Yeah, I'd have to imagine one of those 4 smallmouth that he has has to be a 4-pounder at least, which would give him another 3/4 of a pound on his smallest fish.
Jamie Hartman's definitely pressed his smallmouth a lot longer today than he did yesterday. Noise you hear in the background is our drone for the Bassmasters television show.
Nope.
Smallest of
down,
his
cut the
5
mustard, bro.
fish is 3 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, I can't grab them. Oh, they're like a rock. Holy cow, is that freight again? Man, oh man. I'm gonna get carpal tunnel just from retying.
It'll take you down into the rocks.
Look at it.
Oh my God.
That's that zebra
Yeah,
mussel assisted.
That's the rock you're getting hung in.
Line hazard.
Yeah.
We saw Dave
I wish
Mercer
I had
talking about
more
earlier.
grass in this area, because now that I know it's hard rock down there.
Polinick hooked up. Just under 17 pounds in the live well right now.
Bigger than I thought. I don't think it'll help, but decent one.
It's got one in the live well as small as just under 3. I don't know if this will help him get rid of that or not.
Got him wrapped up now. Hey, hey. Oh, sorry. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Trying to make this easier for you. I don't think it'll help.
I honestly think the most calm smallmouth we've seen ever in the history of smallmouth was the one that hooked David Mullins in the arm and didn't move the rest of the time.
That's a good point, but he was so lucky.
They all flail every time.
That fish helped him get in the top 10. He's 10th right now.
He's trying to find one smaller than the one in his left hand.
Hunter Schrack just pulled in 10th place with a nice 18-pound, 6-ounce day. Knocked Mullins to 11th.
Nope, not going to get any help out of that one.
Little buddy. All righty.
Brandon Polinick remains in 7th place.
Those two are fishing that we just looked at, Brandon Polinick and Jamie Hartman. Jamie Hartman on the New York side, Brandon Polinick fishing in the inland sea.
Because I caught one big one in practice right here. And it's just a perfect spot for him to set up, so. Let's bust one.
But a much different environment on that New York side. If you really look over Jamie Hartman's shoulder around the Rouse's Point area south, you're only looking at 10 to 20 feet of water, a lot of vegetation, a lot of rock mixed in, and it's almost a giant flat. There's not steep drop-offs compared to when you go in the inland sea. A lot of the anglers that at least in our top 10, focusing a lot deeper, a lot more rock, less grass, but it tends to, the inland sea tends to reload on those deep water haunts a lot better than this New York side, especially as the tournament wears on.
Why does depth play a part in that? How does depth play a part in it?
I just think a lot of those really, really deep water fish in the inland sea, I think they spend a lot of their life chasing alewife and smelt and stuff like that, and they live over massively deep water, 40 to 60 feet of water. And these rock piles that are in, say, 25 to 35 feet of water, they just act as a stop sign to when they're coming and going in their schools, whether they're 5-fish schools all the way up to, as Micah Frazier said, I've got an area that's got 20 to 30 on it. It's just an easier stop sign for those fish to come out of deep water.
It feels like a good one.
Polinick again.
Had to shake it forever and ever and ever. Forever, ever, ever, ever. Come on. That'd be a big one. I haven't even got a look at him yet. There's so many down there right now on the graph. Oh my gosh. It is lit up. We'll probably have to beam it.
You heard Brandon make the comment there was a bunch on his graph. A lot of times in the inland sea and other places that we go, when you hook one, more of them tend to follow that hooked one in.
Not, it'll be close. Look at this. Just like nothing, slid right out. Gosh, I don't know if he's gonna help.
That one's much fatter than the smallmouth we've seen. They're long, lean. That one definitely looks like it's got a gut on it. So if it doesn't help, then Pollock's got a much better bag.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, the smallest says 2 pounds, 14 ounces.
It's got to be 3 to help.
Yeah, that one helps.
He's not bigger than that one. Maybe this one? Gosh, those ones are like clones.
In a tournament this tight, every ounce, half an ounce at times helps.
100%.
Just had a blog sent in. They saw Brandon Lester had his fish spit up a yellow perch, and that could be the ounce he needs to happen to another.
Hunter
I think it
Schrag
happened to
showed a
Palaniuk,
photo.
too.
Hunter
recently.
Schrag showed the photo of that as well last night on social media.
All right. Did get a little bit out of that one. Back to Hartman live.
Well, and this is how it was this morning, about a fish catch seemed like every minute and a half to 2 minutes.
Hey, Z, I got a question from a viewer. Jamie Gaffey, who has fished Champlain for 20 years, is asking about the green slime that gets on the milfoil and how that affects the
Algae.
fish.
That's really strange. That green slime, it's an algae, and you tend to see that a lot more in low water conditions. And what's strange about that green slime attaches to the milfoil grass in this lake. And what's funny is I've seen it like down at Ticonderoga, New York right now, 70 miles south of where Jamie Hartman is. A lot of that grass down there has that slime on it, and it seems the real good pods of largemouth like it clean. Don't get me wrong, they will absolutely use that. And
Not as many though, maybe.
But it always seems the cleaner grass is better.
Is that why Ticonderoga may not be playing as well this year?
I think there's a lot of factors to that. Ticonderoga has definitely not been a player where it has in years past. But I'm gonna tell you, for that viewer, what really makes a lot of this grass special, whether it's Ticonderoga or up here on the north end, when you're in that milfoil and you're flipping your bait
pull the plug on this, man.
for largemouth.
Quick here.
A lot of times where you'll find those pockets of largemouth, you'll drop your bait in there and you'll feel that bait click where it hit a rock. So you're looking at all that grass that comes almost to the surface, and then there will be a boulder. Could be the size of a basketball, could be a big boulder. A lot of times it's what's beneath that grass more than just the grass itself, especially in the state of New York.
Jamie Hartman, you just heard him say, hey, I'm getting ready to pull the plug on this spot right here. He's been not catching one after the other, which he's kind of gotten used to here on Lake Champlain, so he's going to try his luck somewhere else, but a guy who knows where he wants to be at the end of it. He's no stranger to winning, this guy, Jamie Hartman.
From Newport, New York, Jamie the Hammer Hartman, 22 pounds and an ounce. 22-1, and Jamie Hartman is once again leading in his home state of New York.
That's 4+. That's the way to get this party started right there. I just slowly started to put it together, and I just kept reminding myself, you know, pick one off at a time, and they're good ones, so we'll keep going.
Keep going. I'm looking forward to seeing how it finishes.
Yeah, you don't want to see that guy sniffing a trophy come Championship Sunday.
No,
Generally, he leaves with it.
Yeah, he's the one who takes possession of it at the end of 4 days of fishing. We're a long way from there at this point right now. We got plenty of fishing here on day number 2. We're going to be with you until that fishing day is done. Jamie Hartman, again, the New York native, now living in Arkansas, holds the lead, not by much, over Seth Feider. Plenty more hungry anglers ready to take the place of both of those. We'll be back right after this.
The Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain is being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
Fish and win with Skeeter Real Money. Fish out of your Skeeter boat, win a Skeeter approved contingency paying event, and you could add $5,000 to your winnings. Just enter, fish, and win. It's that easy. Rules and conditions apply. Visit SkeeterBoats.com and click the Real Money logo to register and learn more, or visit your local Skeeter dealer. Fish, win, get paid. Up to $5,000. Go to SkeeterBoats.com and see why now is the best time to enter, fish, and win with Skeeter Real Money.
You don't know their names yet, but you will.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain, being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
Day 2 continues for these great anglers of the Bassmaster Elite Series. 4th stop of the year here, and we're taking you all the way to the end. Sundays when that trophy is handed out, and the coverage Sunday starts on the app, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Picks up right here on ESPN2 starting at noon Eastern Time, and we'll take you right up to weigh-in time. Big day for the sport of bass fishing Sunday. Big day today for all of the anglers who are in the race for 2020 Bassmaster Angler of the Year. That one, too, is far from being decided. That is a season-long race based on your performance throughout an entire season. Buddy Gross, the man on top as we start today. Came here with Clark Wendlandt on top. He suffered a tough day number 1, and Buddy Gross, our winner at Eufaula, has now ascended to the top right there. Scott Canterbury held that position for first couple of events of the season, or through most of them, and he's moved back up, and today he's probably carving out a little bit higher points total today because he's currently in 3rd place.
Man, it means the world to me just to be with the caliber of fishermen that we have over here in Bass, and to be sitting up there close to the top like I am. It's kind of humbling, to be honest with you. I didn't ever have no idea I was gonna come over here and have a good year. You know, COVID, it's kind of got everything stirred up, and we've kind of missed some opportunities, and times of the year that we're at these lakes, it's just kind of playing into my hand a little bit, and I'm glad. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's just been a crazy year with our schedule and the way the country's going, and I'm just glad to be out here fishing and take it one day at a time, one tournament at a time, and do everything I can to execute to the best of my ability. But I try not to think about it. I can't help but smile if I think about AOY. I mean, just to be leading it right now, it's pretty cool.
That had to feel good. That had to feel so good, and that you follow what happened, and just being able to hoist that blue trophy.
Yeah, that snuck up on me. I knew I was going to have a good tournament. I felt like I was, just because I like that kind of fishing. But I kind of made some errors on the first day. I should have had a great big bag the first day, and I thought I had blown my chance to have have a chance at a win. I felt like it went out the window. So whenever we struggled in, we barely made it in. If it had been for Shane having a mistake with the number of fish in his live, we wouldn't have got to fish last day. So we snuck in there, and I was in 10th place. And at that point, I was just going fishing, having fun. So to pull out the win there, that was a surprise. But to get that blue trophy that early in my career with bass, man, I'm telling you, it's still inside the main hall. It's in the living room. It hasn't gone to the trophy case yet. So, people come over. I think they come to see it instead of me, though. They come over, want a picture made with all my buddies, and just nobody can imagine how heavy that thing is. When you grab that thing and go to lift it up, you better be ready for it. It's like lifting one of these boulders over your head. But yeah, that is a special thing.
Literally a dream come true.
Absolutely. Something we've always, I say we, me and my friends and all my buddies that's ever fished with, we've always talked about it before I ever knew I was going to fish for a living. And I got some of my buddies at home that were saying it was coming before I ever thought it was. I mean, they had a lot more faith in me than I had in myself sometimes. But what a great opportunity we got to be here fishing, though. It's awesome. I'm feeding my family through this. It's all we do. Puts more pressure on me to make sure I find them.
I mean, the benefit, I don't want to misname it, but one of the benefits of the whole COVID situation put us in a situation where we're filming, getting so many hours on ESPN2 Live.
Yeah, man, ain't that...
You can do that if you follow it.
There's one of them. I think she's a 3-pounder anyway. Come here. She's not as big as I thought she was.
Wait, what? Hold on.
There
Wind
is a
chimes?
slight breeze.
Dinner bell.
I
love wind chimes.
That's a chicken city. It's a pretty fish, so nothing prettier than smallmouth.
Yeah, he's got a 2-pounder in there. I don't know if that's going to afford him much. Buddy looking good with those green shoes, though. They're super looking great on that front deck right there.
And when you compliment a smallmouth landing like that, it was a little bit of a hot mess. And when you compliment it with a wind chime, spot on.
Bassmaster Elite Series fans, we're already acquainted with Buddy Gross. He made the switch over here this year, fishing his first year on the Elite Series. We got, after our sort of restart, our continuation of the season, went to Lake Eufaula. Hadn't been there in a while, and Buddy Gross showed how to win there.
And listening to his cameraman right there, it's very true. You know, a lot of the other sports not going on, having the Bassmasters on ESPN2, blew their doors out the final day and said, man, I've won some big tournaments in my life. Nothing like that event on Lake Eufaula, Alabama.
By far the biggest single day 5-fish limit of the tournament, and he saved it for the best day.
I asked Buddy Gross last night, I said, are you thinking about that Angler of the Year and where you're setting right now? He said, I absolutely am not, but my wife is reminding me daily of where I sit.
And a little push. He better gain some more ground today. He started at a second. He's in the tournament, and he's falling down.
Good timing on that, Such.
What do you do?
Talked about crankbait fishing for smallmouth bass. It is one of the funnest ways.
Freaking giant. Doing cartwheels out there.
I don't know if that's a word. It's very hard to keep them hooked. You look at a crankbait, if you don't bass fish, and you're like, what are you talking about, man? There's 6 hooks on that bait. When they get leverage on the bait itself, like a lot of these guys that are fishing jigs or drop shots, single bait lures, slow, you have that fish pinned. He doesn't have leverage on that bait. Not the case with a topwater bait and a crankbait. A lot of fun with smallmouth, but very frustrating. You got to see that, exactly that with David Mullins.
Treacherous.
See the thing doing out there just jumping all over the place? That he did. That was a big one. Be a good one for replay.
Yep, we will. We'll do, bud.
Good timing.
Got to show a lot of that yesterday, actually.
Oh, yeah.
If you watched us on ESPN2. Keep your eye on it. Good one for David Mullins. Not going to happen.
No, that was a successful jump right there.
Yes.
And that, according to the fish.
Crumple.
And not only that, and that's one of the problems when you're cranking, the very first place they go is airborne. And when they go airborne is when the problems generally start.
TH Marine Weather Watch. Well, you can see the conditions right now, as placid as it could possibly be on giant Lake Champlain. 77 degrees, just perfect temperature, perfect air quality. The wind northeast at 4 miles an hour. It's not anywhere near that. It's about like 0.4 miles an hour.
Tell me, I'm going to say it's not 4. You're right. It is not 4 miles per hour.
No.
And really, here's the benefit of this, especially on Lake Champlain or St. Lawrence River, where we were last week, is when it's this calm, getting around. Our man Dave Mercer is going to help dial us in on that.
Yeah.
Pro fishing is no different than any other sport. Competition is won by key adjustments. Remember this year's Super Bowl? It finished a lot different than it looked like at halftime. Our anglers always can't make those adjustments, but today it's going to be a lot easier. Why? Because the giant playing field of Lake Champlain is relatively flat. That allows them to move from spot to spot with relative ease. That wind kicks up, and now there is no time for plan B or plan C. Today, they'll be able to adjust. Our anglers will be a lot more nimble.
There you go.
Dave Mercer getting around well so far this day. So's Davey Hyatt. Our crew is mobile and on it at all times. Jamie Hartman still hanging on to that lead. No big change on the scoreboard. Past few minutes right now. Canterbury. Keep your eyes on him. Keep your eyes on Micah Frazier. Micah Frazier catching him just so consistently. Plenty more anglers to put our eyes on before this day is over. Take a break and be right back.
The Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain is being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
I'm pro angler Andy Montgomery. I've been making my living with Strike King products for a long time. So when they showed me the new Tour Grade line, I was all in. I knew I could trust it. What I didn't know was how easy it was to use. With the spooling tool and the prepaid envelope to recycle your old line included in every single box. Not only is it the best line on the market, it gives you the easiest fishing experience possible. Find out more at StrikeKing.com.
Introducing the Bass U TV app. Get the most out of your Bass U TV subscription and learn on the go with the Bass U TV app. unlimited access to 700 plus training videos. Multiple new releases each week, including seminars, on-water videos, live shows, interviews, and other original content. The Bass U TV app. Never stop learning.
In the wild, nature dictates that when it's time to eat, animals will instinctively find and devour the meal that satisfies them most. In the water, Berkeley Powerbait's scientifically proven formula triggers the natural predatory instinct in bass. Now available in a plethora of shapes, sizes, and colors. Berkeley Powerbait. Fish bite and won't let go.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain, being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
Bassmaster Live up here on the border between New York State and Vermont. Incredible Lake Champlain, that's the way it stands. Right now, second day of action, 4 days of fishing constitute this whole tournament here, and it won't be done until 3 p.m. on Sunday. Only 10 anglers. The top 10, as it stands after tomorrow's fishing, are the ones who will fish on Sunday. It is the greatest cumulative weight, 4 days of fishing, for the single angler that's going to win the trophy. Jamie Hartman, let's take a look at the day he's had today. Yesterday, he had a good day yesterday. It just didn't start very quickly. It started quickly, catching them big, early, and often today.
You know, and I want you to look at that sky behind Jamie Hartman compared to yesterday. You tuned into our broadcast on ESPN2 yesterday morning. A lot of clouds, mixed clouds. We had some rain, sun, and it seemed like every time those clouds would come over the north end of the lake, those sight fishing smallmouth, their sight feeders, they would just shut down for the better side of an hour. Yesterday, they were just really, really finicky. Not the case this morning. We had high skies, just a little gentle breeze, and they weren't biting. They were getting Jamie Hartman's bait this morning. And not only that, it's just kind of like Jamie Hartman yesterday, late in the day, stopped on this exact spot and made a late day call. Caught about a 4-pounder, started here this morning and landed on a mother load of smallmouth bass.
So his catches listed throughout the day there, he's running just under a 4-pound average. He's going to be moving around, trying to do everything within his power to bring it to a 4-pound average. That'd be 20 pounds of bass for today to add to his 20 plus yesterday.
And we talked about this earlier today. Jamie Hartman having 22 pounds yesterday. See, you know, you say to yourself, wow, you must have just caught the heck out of it. You're between a 4 and a 5-pound bass average. And I said, Jamie, I'm not going to lie. We were with you all day with the camera. It looked better on paper than it really was on the water. And he said, I got very lucky on day one. Going to move over to Seth Fighter right now, unofficially in second place.
There have been 11 lead changes today. Fighter and Hartman have been involved in 6 of them, including a tie.
Really? Back and forth with Seth Fighter, Jamie Hartman. Yesterday morning, Seth Fighter starting on his smallmouth, and as he said, they were not good to him, Tommy Sanders.
No.
They were a lot better to Seth Fighter early this morning.
Yes, sir.
Fishing a crankbait just like David Mullins and a drop shot bouncing back and forth. And I'm going to say some of those smallmouth a lot bigger than Seth Fighter actually has put on his bottom line.
They were healthy ones this morning.
Yes, sir.
But really the big moves were when Seth Fighter went into the inland sea.
Yes, sir.
Had 5 largemouth
Yes,
in
sir.
his stringer on day one. Catches that one, and then this giant.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh God, oh God, oh God,
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, come here. Come here! Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh my God. Oh my God, it's a 6-pounder, dude. Boom! Give me some. Where's Noah?
Well, he said it just as much then. He said, that's a game changer right there. That was a huge fish. Certainly a big turnaround for his day. Seth Fighter, you can see how it all went down. Sort of in order there, time-wise. Hartman with the early advantage, for sure. A couple of pounds worth through the first 3 fish, and then Seth Fighter really got back in the game big time with fish number 5. That was a tank. All right. Get out the Seth Fighter right now. He's got our Skeeter boats. Taste the bait for us. Been waiting for this one for Seth for a while.
What, the rig?
Yeah. Is that good?
Yeah.
What are you flipping up to?
Okay, this is a Texas rig. Got a 7.3 medium heavy Daiwa Kage to tool SV, 8-1, 30-pound. I got 832 braid on this one, 20-pound Suffix fluorocarbon leader. And then I got a bobber stop that keeps my weight pegged. Slides over a line. It's a 1/2 ounce Wu tungsten flipping sinker. And then the business end's a 4-aught ringed VMC hook. I don't know if you can see that.
There you go. Why ringed?
I just think the hookup's a lot better on it, and then with the peg sinker, your knot never gets off to the side. Every time it falls, it's perfectly straight. It never does that if your knot gets turned. So it's always in and out, and I don't know, just takes a little leverage away from them, and seems like it hooks them really good. And then just got a little flipping bait on there and dabbing around in the MILF. You get a shot of this? You gotta play some sexy music when you're looking at that through the lens finder.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
Brown chicken.
Well, that is the
cow.
milfoil grass right there. Seth Fighter has grown up fishing on Lake Minnetonka. I noticed something about Seth. I'll call him out. He likes to show us his weight, his hook. He doesn't really like to show the bait, which is kind of the money of that whole setup. Seth Fighter.
What do you say, standard flipping bait?
Yes, yours. We'll call it a little punch cross style bait, but really if you look at that milfoil, we just talked about it, is what really separates it, and they'll get in pods, 3, 4, 5 fish largemouth pods in this grass. A lot of time on Champlain, it's when you find some irregularity below the surface in that grass, whether it's rock or boulder, that's where those largemouth will really group up if you can find it. But a lot of times when you're doing this, it's a law of average. You're trying to drop your bait in all those holes in that vegetation until you finally connect. Something we cannot stress this enough. Talked about it earlier today. Fantasy fishing, our guy, Mike Golick, we talked about it today, was his last day on ESPN2.
Yeah.
Big hats off to Mike Golick, but he's happy to be retired from the show. Bittersweet day, and where I say sweet, Seth Fighter is Mike Golick's #1 pick. Picked him yesterday.
He definitely picked him and picked the winner last week as
He
well.
did.
So Golick on fire for sure. But Seth Fighter, hey man, he's a great pick just about any time we tee it up.
26 pounds, 2 ounces. A 2-time Elite Series champion from Minnesota, the amazing fighter man, Seth Fighter. Gets it done.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, come here. Come here! Woo-hoo-hoo! Did you see that big giant come out of that pontoon? Feels right, don't it? It's gonna be a good week. I love coming up here. It fishes like home. I don't got a ton of experience here, but I can just pull in areas and it feels comfortable, you know what I mean? And loving every minute out of it and looking forward to going back tomorrow.
Seth Fighter, great to have him as a big part of the show here.
Is he starting to look more and more like Wade Garrett from Roadhouse?
I'm thinking.
Am I wrong?
I'm thinking the pro golfer Tommy Fleetwood. Look up a picture of
Wow.
Tommy Fleetwood.
Don't you ever
put those
Tommy
two together.
Fleetwood me here on the Bassmasters.
Well, maybe just the once. Jamie Hartman, Seth Feider, first and second. So many lead changes, as Such pointed out, during the course of this day. Many to come as well. Take a break and be back on Bassmaster.
Hey, amigo.
The Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain is being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
While I travel the country on the Bassmaster Elite Series, I simply can't let the weather be the reason I don't win $100,000. That's why I use AFCO clothing to keep me warm, dry, and protected from whatever Mother Nature wants to throw at me. My season depends on it. My career depends on it. AFCO, any fish, any water.
At Mercury, we invested thousands of hours of engineering manpower so you can enjoy hours and hours of untapped horsepower. Introducing the all-new V6 Mercury Pro XS. Light, quick, efficient. Mercury, go boldly. At Mercury, there are no limits to what we'll do to make sure you have no limits either. Introducing the all-new V8 Mercury Pro XS. Light, quick, efficient. Mercury, go boldly.
It's been said that a bad day of fishing is better than a good day at work. Getting you to that fishing spot is key. And Bully Dog gets your truck road ready. No matter where, we give you the horsepower and towing torque right when you need it. We make getting there better. Make your ride a Bully Dog.
Groundbreaking designs, unsurpassed quality, and unshakable confidence. Welcome to the Ranger Z500 and Z100 series. Leading the industry for over 50 years, these rigs are custom crafted and loaded with more features and advantages to deliver the ultimate ownership experience. The legendary Ranger Z series. Unleash next level performance. Mercury, go boldly.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain, being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
Hey, happy Friday to you. TGIF, certainly if you're a bass fishing fan. If you're
LOL?
not, yeah, yes, absolutely.
Oh my
If you're not, if you're just kind of checking us out, kind of getting familiar with the game here, here's the rules we're playing by. 4 days to fish, 85 anglers, the full field today and also yesterday. So 2 days of full field fishing. After today, we cut it down to 40 anglers. And after tomorrow, down to 10 anglers for the final day. 5 fish limit for each day. Roughly 8 hours of fishing for each day on this incredible, incredible fishery, this beautiful place known as Lake Champlain. Jamie Hartman, native of New York. He loves New York fishing. And he hit the road with the Bassmaster Elite Series in his 40s about 3-4 years ago and has never looked back. Collected a couple of victories last year. To add an incredible third victory in just about a year's time on the Bassmaster Elite Series. That is just phenomenal. If he can pull it off.
He vied for like 2 or 3 titles in his first season, missed Rookie of the Year by 1 point.
Exactly
Seth
right.
Feider, yeah.
Both
Seth
of
Feider's
those
had a couple of
anglers.
trophies.
2 trophies apiece. Jamie Hartman got 2 of those last year. Seth Feider with 2 Angler of the Year championship trophies. You could see Seth, interesting, Jamie Hartman in one of the biggest community holes. We talked about these blow-throughs, some of these concrete day markers on Lake
like a
Champlain.
drone.
But Seth
I'm having
Feider,
nightmares already. I'm going to hear that thing in my dang sleep.
Seth seems to be doing a lot of practicing this afternoon and not I think Seth is a lot like Chris Johnston last week, saving a lot of spots for day 3 and possibly day 4.
I was going to ask you about, there's so many adjustments these guys have to make. Has anybody, talk about making a plan out for the week and saving fish and holding back and, because you hear the details on a lot of these guys, what they want to do, and if it ever comes into fruition.
Chris Johnston had a game plan last week on ESPN2, days 1 through 4, that he executed not flawlessly, one of the best 4-day performances as far as talking about his game plan, executing on it each day, planning for the next day. We talk about guys managing fish. You see 2 guys right now that are absolutely doing that. They're not pressing their primary areas or areas that they're saving. One of the reasons why, if you don't follow, even if you do follow the Bassmasters, you want to go catch them. Everything that these guys are wired to do is to go catch bass. The problem is on Lake Champlain, when you get around that 4-pound average, it is so incredibly hard to upgrade. And the problem is you end up burning fish you could potentially need on day 3 or potentially need on day 4. You're setting the hook on too many fish that are too valuable later in the event to make that quarter-pound, half-pound upgrade to where on day 3 or 4 it goes to your bottom line. Sorry.
It's like so many sports. You don't want to overthink it, yet you can't take a nap either. You gotta be on the ball at all times.
And this is just one of those tournaments that every single ounce is going to count going into Championship Sunday.
There's one of your food sources right there, your forage, your yellow perch.
Yes, yes.
Man, would you like to be there? It does not look like the perfect, ideal summer day. 75 degrees, cloudless sky, not a lot of wind. That's starting to get a little breakup on top of the water. That might help the fishing just a little bit.
Ideal summer day, and really this morning, what can you say about Lake Champlain? It was an absolute catch fest, but a lot of those bigger fish, the bigger smallmouth and largemouth that we saw on day 1 really came from this time all the way up till weigh-in.
All right, believe me, we'd all like to be out there, but it has advantages being inside as well. Of course, that's where the screen of knowledge is located, and Ronnie Moore as well.
Well, I wanted to talk about Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing, and yesterday watching live and with you guys and watching the weigh-in, I really thought, wow, smallmouth, cancel them out. They're not going to do it. We saw Jamie Hartman at the top with some largemouth. We saw Buddy Gross. We saw Seth Feider catch all largemouth. But we started to see some of the smallmouth guys really come in at the end of weigh-in. And I wanted to talk about 3 of our prominent figures here for not only Rapala Bassmaster Fantasy Fishing, but for the tournament itself. And Jamie Hartman, our day 1 leader, he had a mixed bag. He had the best percentage, or he was the best pick for someone who had a mixed bag of fish. 24% of the folks picked him. He was the leader, had 3 smallmouth, 2 largemouth. Micah Frazier was the best angler in the standings that had all smallmouth. He went all in on those deeper smallmouth. Only 4% of the people picking him, but you got to remember, he was the defending champ at 2019 at the St. Lawrence River, got 5th there last week, has a great track record in New York. Surprised he was picked that low. And then Seth Feider, our local favorite, even though he's not from here, it fishes just like where he's from. 45% picked him, and he was the guy who came in with all largemouth yesterday because he didn't catch smallmouth that great. Today, though, has plenty of smallmouth in his bag, does have that 6-pound largemouth. And speaking of other fantasy fishing people we should keep an eye out on, Tommy Fleetwood is going to be one of those guys. Here's the Seth Feider lookalike. I like it, Tommy. I like.
There's a little bit of a resemblance there. Yeah,
I do. And then there's another look. I mean, that really shows the flow comparison of Seth Feider as we look, and that's, I mean. There's the mustache. There's the face. You see it? And then I just wanted to leave it on that one. Yeah. That is the flow at 70 miles an hour on a calm Lake Champlain. I like it.
Don't we all wish we could look like that? Looking good, flying down the lake there.
Normally, Zona derails my monitor segments, and I almost derailed my own one right there. Just excited to get to the Tommy Fleetwood. I was giggling over there. It was nice.
Back out to Buddy Gross. Buddy had a few mishaps, a little bit of things that turned the wrong way this morning, but not bad. You can certainly bring it back, reel it all in, as they say.
Buddy Gross not far from where Jamie Hartman caught them earlier this morning. Very close, in fact.
Our winner at Eufaula started the day in second place. He's fallen to 21st.
Sorry, Bubba. I don't know if it is or not. I don't remember my color. Yep.
Skinny.
I don't remember what color it was.
Got 2.5 pounders in his 5 fish limit.
I can't remember. That bite felt like one of them daggum perches. It didn't even feel like it was a good one. I thought it was blue. Quit a minute. Quit it. Quit it. Quit it. Quit it. Quit it. I like it bigger than blue. Daggum will have wheels do such a good job. Stop. Stop. He's bigger. He's blue.
Hasn't been easy to stay in the top 10 today, but Stetson Blaylock has done a pretty good job of that.
It's a big old long one.
Stetson Blaylock started on the New York side up near Rouse's Point this morning, top water fishing, solid morning. But like yesterday, made his way into the inland sea, trying to upgrade that 5-fish stringer.
I don't think he's gonna help either, though. So crazy. They're so long and skinny.
Well, Stetson Blaylock, definitely one of our Angler of the Year players last year, set the scene for that in the state of South Carolina. Finished second at Lake Hartwell and went to this place right here, Winyah Bay, and not his first win as an Elite Series player.
Exactly right. We had two-time winners last season. Talking about Brandon Cobb, Jamie Hartman, and almost saw it with this guy right here, Stetson Blaylock. Well, I guess two people couldn't have won Lake Hartwell.
No, it's be unusual.
That's right. I struggle at times.
We all. We all. Loving that victory, man. Young man with a lot of top-level bass fishing experience.
Yes.
Arkansas Stetson Blaylock. Definitely got it on track this week. Hanging in there in that top 10. Looks to be a cinch to make it into the top 40. He'll just be striving tomorrow to make it into that top 10. Get another shot at a championship. Back out to David Mullins some moments ago.
I don't think you'll help. No. Come on. Oh, messed up on that one. Come on. Now come in there. I believe he will go. Don't you?
Ooh.
Oh, gosh.
Well, if that doesn't help, he's in really good shape.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that will be one that helps David Mullins. Reliable. If someone gets in the boat and says, take me to someone who's throwing a crankbait, that's the guy you go to right there, David Mullins. And yeah, that one helped him for sure. You see him right there in 9th place, moving back into the top 10. So a good, successful early afternoon campaign for David Mullins. Got to keep it going all the way until 3 o'clock. Polinick, Brock Mosley staying in there. Boy, that's a lot of diehards in there in that top 10. They don't want to surrender their spots. We'll take a break from Lake Champlain. Be right back.
The Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain is being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
What do a taco and a taco truck have in common? Nothing. If you want to play, you need a Tacoma.
Your time on the water is precious. You return season after season to make unforgettable memories. Fight a few fish, reconnect with friends, and recenter yourself. If you count on having this time, you need an outboard you can count on to power it. That's why boaters stay with Yamaha for the long run, for life. They know reliability starts here.
Pre-collision system, standard, on the 2020 Tacoma, so you can go from one epic playground to the next. If you want to play, you need a Tacoma.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain, being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
Been a big day for us so far. We're on Bassmaster Live. Got plenty more to go on this day as well. Tomorrow's day 3 of this all-important tournament on Lake Champlain, the iconic fishery. Tomorrow we'll start on the app, 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll go almost to noon, take an hour break, come back at noon Eastern Time to start the second half of our broadcast right here on ESPN2, so don't miss it. It'll be a great Saturday here. If you love the bass fishing, if you're just interested in seeing some more of it at the very highest level, because that is exactly what we've been witness to today, all day long. Just a highlight reel through the morning. Of course, many of our anglers getting their best work done in the earlier hours of this day. But there's plenty of them that have work to do before this day is done.
No doubt about it. Some of those anglers are sitting right there on that 40 cut line. Only 40 anglers going to fish tomorrow. The rest of them, well, they're headed home until our Lake St. Clair event. Critical calls will need to be made by a lot of guys that caught them yesterday.
With 17-2 yesterday, 17-2 was the 40th place position. I'd expect it to rise much more than 31 and change what it is at right now.
All right, well, we will see what that turns out to be. Our first look for today at Brock Mosley. Spent a lot of time with Brock last week on the St. Lawrence River. He's one of those fellas that casts a lot with largemouth bass.
Caught me off guard. Oh, had a good day. It wasn't as fast and furious as I had hoped, but I was able to go out there and catch the smallmouth I wanted to catch. You know, I don't have any real big ones, but my smallest one's a 3.5, so I didn't want to keep wasting smallmouth. So, you know, I think to really boost my weight up, if I can catch a 5-pound largemouth to go with them, I'd have a really, really strong bag. You know, I got 18 and a half. I got one that's deceased on me, so if it wouldn't have died, I'd probably have over 19 again. So just a solid bag of smallmouth. Now we just need to kick our head to go with them to really bump us up. It's been real calm all day on the lake. Not a lot of wind till now is the first time and it's just a little bit of a ripple now, so we're going to spend the last little bit of our time looking for a kicker.
Well, Brock Mosley, as we mentioned, we spent a lot of time with him last week, a week ago, on the St. Lawrence River. You know, that place, that tournament is smallmouth dominant. On the water, at the ramp, at the weigh-in, all the talk is smallmouth, but a few brave souls decide to go ahead and go straight largemouth, and Brock was that guy.
Well, one of the benefits of going largemouth fishing is predominantly the rest of the field on the St. Lawrence River, they're going to ignore them, so you kind of have free reign of them all week long. And I think one of the most interesting things about this tournament, I got to talk to Brock Mosley about it last night. I said, what's been your vibe since that tournament? He said, look, I just think there's a lot of southern anglers that wanted to see a guy win on largemouth and they were sick of drop shot fishing for smallmouth. But I think the surprise about it was I really thought 20 pounds a day on days 1 and 2 were doable on these boat docks on a lot of this chunk rock. To see him do that virtually 4 days in a row and only weigh in 2 smallmouth in that entire event, that opened some eyes.
Superb third place finish there, great effort all 4 days from Mississippi's Brock Mosley.
His mind was eased on the eve of the tournament last Wednesday. His wife gave birth, and he said he had a horrible practice, and after that he just kind of let it fly. Felt way better that they were both doing well.
And hanging in there strong in the top 10 right now, Brock Mosley in 6th place. As we get closer and closer to the end of day number 2, we got a ways to go, but clock is always ticking. Back to Buddy Gross.
Buddy Gross has lived with a prototype Nichols jig, half ounce, almost the entire afternoon, but a lot of what he caught early was on a bladed jig early this morning.
Lubed up my reel and made it famous on TV. We just caught another in about, I don't know, it'll probably give me a 1/4 pound coal. But nothing's really doing great for me today, so I'm just kind of running some new water and trying to find the next good spot, and hopefully if I can find that next good spot, it'll be good tomorrow too. I like this place we're in right now a lot. It's got some standing cabbage and some great big boulders. Cabbage is a grass that grows real tall, skinny, but they like to kind of gather up around it. We just caught that one out here. I'm hoping we can get another one. I'm fixing to go back and run some of that stuff we started on this morning just to see if we can pick up one more largemouth. But it's not been the day I was hoping for. But it also hasn't been terrible, so. We got our work cut out for us the rest of the day though. We're fixing to make a move and hopefully we can sneak up on 1 or 2. I'm just not seeing much. Water's got so much clarity to it I can see. And I just, you know, when I caught that last fish a while ago, I watched real close to see if there's any with it. There was nothing else with it, so it makes me think it was a loner. Not that I know a whole lot about smallmouth. God, boom. That felt like a pike bite. I started not to even set the hook on it. But I had to know.
Buddy Gross makes his home near Lake Chickamauga on the Tennessee River. We were scheduled to go there early in our season this year. Of course, the season, like so many events, interrupted by pandemic concerns.
Got fish to get it.
So we'll be back there. We'll be there in the fall, or very late summer. Well, actually in the fall. Here's the morning start for Buddy Gross today. Started in second place.
Exactly right, fishing isolated boulders on the New York side of Lake Champlain. And really, it's a scary deal if Buddy Gross comes out of New York solid for the rest of the season.
Go ahead.
Please do.
It's almost like Scott Canterbury last year when we didn't think that he might have experience up there and do well.
Right.
He'd never been to the St. Lawrence River.
A lot of the bodies of water that we're going to, Buddy Gross has a lot of experience, especially where he cut his teeth, Lake Chickamauga, Tennessee, where he lives. Gross is going to be a factor in our Angler of the Year race, it looks like, all season long here on the Bassmaster Elite Series.
His first year out here with this group. Got a lot of good experience, though, but hasn't been in the game that long at the pro level.
He has a great story. He was actually working at a business with his wife. I believe they both got laid off, or it was a time that they were about to get laid off, and he decided, he ended up fishing some tournaments, doing well, and he was like, hey, I might as well go pro fishing right now. I might not have another shot. And that's how he became a pro.
Come here.
Well, again, it's Buddy's first year on the Bassmaster Elite Series. He is a rookie, technically. He is qualified to win the Bassmaster Rookie of the Year award, and he is the leader in that one for sure.
And
just ahead of Takumi Ito.
A little bit strange like last year. You looked at guys like Patrick Walters, Drew Cook, that were leading the Rookie of the Year race like you see right there, but also in the running for Angler of the Year the majority of our season. We're seeing that with Buddy Gross and Taku Ito this season again.
Last few years have been marked by remarkably strong rookie classes.
The whole school.
Buddy's got to pick it up. His weight today, estimated 13 pounds, 6 ounces, would put him near 80th yesterday. That was the weight that far down.
Now, Buddy Gross's wife probably does not agree with me, but we don't need anybody running away with the AOY.
No.
We've had that before.
Yeah, that's not a treat.
Well, Hartman's maxed out on his points, and he's second, 2 points behind Buddy. Buddy's looking to lose about 20 points right now.
Somebody's cool that one. There's a bigger one right there. I can get into this sight fishing for smallmouth, man.
It's fun.
Oh, he's been eyeballing one right there.
Woo. See that though? Sun getting higher, a little bit like we saw at St. Lawrence River, Lake Ontario. Sun gets high. A lot of those smallmouth start to crawl shallow where you can visually catch them.
We'll check back in with Buddy here in just a few minutes. Before we take a break, though, to have another look at the leaderboard right now. Nothing's changed at the top. Still Jamie Hartman. He's had that small lead, that unofficial lead, for a good long while now, more than an hour and a half or so. Scott Canterbury hanging in there as well. Ed Loughran having his best tournament of the year for sure. We'll take ourselves a break and come back to Lake Champlain.
The Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain is being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
Groundbreaking designs, unsurpassed quality, and unshakable confidence. Welcome to the Ranger Z500 and Z100 series. Leading the industry for over 50 years, these rigs are custom crafted and loaded with more features and advantages to deliver the ultimate ownership experience. The legendary Ranger Z series. Unleash next level performance. Mercury, go boldly.
Son gets it
and win with Skeeter Real Money. Fish out of your Skeeter boat, win a Skeeter-approved contingency paying event, and you could add $5,000 to your winnings. Just enter, fish, and win. It's that easy. Rules and conditions apply. Visit SkeeterBoats.com and click the Real Money logo to register and learn more, or visit your local Skeeter dealer. Fish, win, get paid. Up to $5,000. Go to SkeeterBoats.com and see why now is the best time to enter, fish, and win with Skeeter Real Money. The Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain is brought to you by
Bass fishing live for you from this beautiful place, Lake Champlain, on the border between New York State and Vermont. That's Jamie Hartman, our leader. New York native on top of the leaderboard right now. We have the full field of 85 out there fishing today, just as we did yesterday on day number 1. At the end of today, at the weigh-in that starts at 3 p.m., at the end of that weigh-in, we'll be down to 40 anglers. The top 40 only will continue on into the weekend. Scores are very, very close together. Last week we had a super top-heavy leaderboard where the first and second place guys were as much as 15, 20 pounds away, far back. But here, yeah, it's a lot closer, but it's also a lot harder to make moves out here. This is a very homogeneous sized fish population. You got to be a special guy to find a 5-pound average out here, or even a 4-pound average.
Tommy Sanders.
What?
My friend. We talked about it all day long. You nailed this one. The action today has been hot, heavy, all day long.
Sure
to
has.
Start the powerful replay of the day. Well, you know what? We were going to give it to this guy right here.
Oh my
We were going to give it to your
That's one of the right ones.
New York native who now lives in Arkansas, and he came in firing. I mean, really, the first hour of competition was a Jamie Hartman beatdown, which we have seen before with this, my friend. Jamie Hartman with some better than average size smallmouth earlier this morning. But you know what? We're not going to give it to you, Jamie Hartman. It's this one. Minnesota set fighter with, we're talking about a Lake Champlain unicorn.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, come here. Come here! Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh my God. Oh my God, it's a 6-pounder, dude. Boom!
Taking that one back to the farmer's market.
Give me some.
I don't know. I just threw it in there. Actually, just taking it to the weigh-in. That fish will be released into Lake Champlain. Seth Fighter, you are. Listen, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Good job.
You are the powerful replay of the day.
Nice.
What a hot mess.
That was clean.
It was disjointed. It made no sense. But you know what?
Perfect.
It came together. Get back on the water with David Mullins.
See, he put that in as a 6-pound, 4-ounce, or a little bit more.
I think it's a little bit more.
5 ounce, 6 ounces.
David Mullins live. Mullins.
Recovered well after hooking himself in the arm with a treble hook.
Well, he has played with fire all day long, getting hooked.
Would we expect anything else, though? Would you expect David Mullins to be in the top 8 at Champlain drop shotting or throwing a Texas rig? No, cranking. No. That is what he does.
That's a good point.
He's a Tennessee cranking machine.
Our fantasy previews, he was mentioned.
Wheels coming off. I think the one thing that is surprising about David Mullins, obviously not surprising that he's doing what he's known for right here. It's a little surprising that he's hung on the New York side, the Rouse's Point Flat, a lot longer than I thought we'd see him. I thought he'd be in the Inland Sea with a lot of our other top 10.
Ronnie, you mentioned he hooked himself with a crankbait earlier.
It happens.
Do you think that's what prompted the wardrobe change that we see right now? You know what I'm talking about?
Good point.
The addition of shoes.
White bass.
He may have had the shoes on when he hooked himself, though, actually.
Did not.
Did not. Okay.
Did not.
He was barefoot, yeah.
He was barefoot.
White bass.
Rock bass.
Rock bass.
Rock
I was about to say. Tennessee River.
I say things have gotten interesting at the top 40 cut for tomorrow.
To say the least.
The top 3, there's 4 ounces separating the 3 guys inside and the 4 guys outside.
Like we
4
talked
ounces.
We talked about it earlier, Such. From 40th to 60th, it was 1 pound after weigh-in yesterday. 40th to 60th.
And then in the next 10 places were another pound. Z doesn't care for that stat.
Well, except for Brock Mosley, whom we visited with just a little bit ago, most of our anglers have sort of slid out a little bit deeper.
I think so.
Over the past half an hour or so.
I'd like to get dialed in a little bit more.
You want to slide back in and take a look at a marina? I think Davey Height's ready to go on that particular subject right now. Why they're in there, why the marina, one in particular, has played a huge part in what we have seen today. Big turning point, and marinas are essential. They're a big part of the scene here, Davey, right?
They absolutely are, Tommy, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about what makes it so attractive for those bigger largemouth to live inside these marinas. You see there's obviously a lot of boat traffic. Not so much on a Thursday and a Friday, but Friday afternoon I can tell a difference than yesterday. Saturday and Sunday, that might be something to think about, how much boat traffic will be in and out around these marinas. But here's a key drawing point. Number one, there's a break wall up front, which gives this a lot of protection from the wind. So with that, you have this milfoil, beautiful, luscious milfoil that those largemouth absolutely love, without a doubt. And then you have the cover of the boat docks, good clean water, a lot of bluegill, a lot of perch. Those bait fish live in and around these marinas, and there's so many things to attract these bigger largemouth, and they will live in here until, if they're deep enough, all winter long. Some of them are a little shallower, and that's another thing that really is attractive. You have contour inside these marinas because a lot of these marinas, these certain boat slips have been dug out, so they're deeper. Bass, largemouth, smallmouth, spotted bass, they all like a contour change. So you got the cover of the boat docks themselves, you've got the milfoil, you've got the protection from the rock walls out in front, and then also you have that contour change. Everything, perfect recipe for these largemouth bass to live in here. But the one thing we need to look for tomorrow and Sunday, just how busy will it be inside these marinas where you see Seth Fighter and some of the other anglers fishing.
Humminbird lay of the lake with Davey Height. First off, I've never heard milfoil vegetation compared, it's said it's luscious. I've never heard that. It evidently is. But Davey, talk about wheels coming up. Talk about, if you can, how this low water probably has made these marinas play much more so this time around than years past.
Great point, Z. In the past, you had a lot of reeds and a lot of shallow vegetation, not just in the marinas, but in other places. But so many of the places where that vegetation thrives is super shallow. The lake looks to me about 2 foot shallower than it was here in 2017. So those places are high and dry where a lot of that vegetation live. Inside these marinas, like I mentioned, you have that contour, you have the shallow and the deeper water, and that's what has helped the vegetation do well inside these marinas. The other thing is a big, big thing in the wintertime or in springs when we have a lot of wind, these break walls provide a lot of protection for this vegetation. If that vegetation is exposed to 4, 5, 6 foot waves, it'll actually rip it off the bottom and it won't be up on those flats. So that's another reason why the milfoil is so good inside these marinas.
Luscious milfoil. Davey, I know you hate what I'm going to ask you. Last week we had a two-man horse race. Taking a look at David Mullins right now. Right now we're shaping up for a two-man horse race with Jamie Hartman and Seth Fighter. Give us a name. You have to give us a name.
So I will, and I picked before the tournament started that Seth Feider would win this tournament, so I'm sticking with that. I'm not going to pull away from that, but I was able to watch Micah Frazier today. He's not having the afternoon that he thought he would have. A lot of us thought that, so I spent probably the last hour and a half with Micah Frazier. Let's not count him out quite yet. This is a 4-day event. It's not even quite halftime, and as we know, if it's not halftime, this thing's far from over. We've seen this year already a Buddy Gross come from 10th place, just barely made it into the top 10 by the skin of his teeth on championship Saturday, and then was able to come back and win. So I'm sticking with Feider, but this thing is far from over.
Davey
gave us a name. That's a rare trait for Davey.
Davey is impartial by nature, but it's great when we can wrangle a name out of him every once in a while. Davey, thank you so much. Great instruction on really what's the attraction of those boat docks.
Was a luscious pick.
It was. It was a luscious pick. Absolutely.
I love how you gave the non-committal Davey Height 2 options, and he picked someone else out of it. I love that. It's just, I'm just so proud of his growth. I mean, that's just amazing.
Luscious might be the word you use to describe this season we have had so far. The year 2020 started out, boy, way back, seems like about 4 years ago, though. Actually, it was March down in Florida, Palatka, Florida, in the St. Johns River.
Oh, my God.
Man, oh, man, it was not the slugfest it was the year before, but there were occasional giants. We just saw a great one right there. It was fought out in the canals. It was fought on Lake George. Also fought downstream, turning north from Palatka when everyone else was going south. It was Paul Mueller. A definite game plan, fishing deeper water, under pads. Education was a big part of that win for sure.
Well, that was kind of out of nowhere, too. I hate to say it. We were looking at a lot of other anglers coming into that event, or even halfway through that event. Paul Mueller taking the trophy. And there we headed over to Lake Eufaula, Alabama, and it was an early tournament shallow water beatdown, kind of transitioned in all those man-made brush piles seen right here on ESPN2. Scott Canterbury, the 2019 Angler of the Year, slow, steady, got his job done, and got beat. Plain and simple, the final day with Buddy Gross, one of the biggest comebacks we have seen in Bassmaster history, catching the biggest stringer of the event on the final day.
Final day, 27 pounds and 11 ounces, just absolutely eye-popping. Don't get me wrong, it was a great tournament. They were catching them big all week long, but 27-11 was just completely off the end of the chart. Great victory in his first year on the Bassmaster Elite Series. Buddy Gross, and Buddy keeping the pace. Boy, he's keeping the flame burning here. He is definitely right there at the top on that race for Angler of the Year.
Buddy Gross kind of like a running back, just getting it done. From there, let's go over to St. Lawrence River. Lake Ontario was the X factor, and Lake Ontario showed up in a big way and growled on the final day. Paul Mueller, he gave Chris Johnston from Ontario a run, but it was just the consistency from Chris Johnston, especially showing us what he can do on Lake Ontario in rough conditions. Chris Johnston had a game plan, really put it away, and that game plan was fish management. Burn certain areas down, fish them out. That is what put that trophy in Chris Johnston's hand.
Just barely under a 25-pound average per day. That would have gotten him to the century mark. Certainly scared the century mark there last week on the St. Lawrence River and Lake Ontario. Here's the remainder of our bass. Now, later next month, hey, another great smallmouth venue, Lake St. Clair. It's August 20th through the 23rd. And then, newly on the schedule, Lake Guntersville, one to make up the one we missed earlier this year, September 30th through October 3rd. That will be a different Lake Guntersville.
Exactly right. It's going to be, really, look at that. End of September, Guntersville. Beginning of October, Santee Cooper, South Carolina, into another big bass factory, Lake Chickamauga. I look for that one to be potentially one of the most visual tournaments with frog fishing up shallow besides Guntersville.
Also be in November at Lake Fork, so think about that. There's your Angler of the Year standings as we started today. Before the fishing started today, Buddy Gross was the man on top, a slim 2-point margin over Jamie Hartman. Scott Canterbury 14, 15 points behind Buddy Gross right now. Scott Canterbury, defending AOY champion from 2019 again. Loves Lake Champlain, that's for sure.
Too.
Elite Series Angler of the Year from Alabama, Scott Canterbury.
This may be the best weights of a tournament I've ever fished here, and I've fished a lot of them. The smallmouth weigh a lot, and the largemouth are healthy, so I expect it to be really good. It's going to be fun. I caught a lot of fish today. Can't wait to get back out there tomorrow.
Yeah, don't count Scott Canterbury out. Possibility of back-to-back.
I won't.
Bassmaster Angler of the Year championships. He's certainly the man for the job, and he's making another big, pleading his case in a strong, persuasive way today. Jamie Hartman, though, still hanging there on Top Set Fighter. Feels like he's got his work done for today. He's kind of looking for new places to fish.
He's loafing.
Yeah, he's not loafing. He's doing his job. Looking at making plans for the last 2 days of this tournament. We got more of day 2 on the way.
The Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain is being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats. This reel allows you to cover more water, make more casts, giving you more opportunities to catch more fish. The new Revo Rocket, Abu Garcia for life.
Introducing the Bass U TV app. Get the most out of your Bass U TV subscription and learn on the go with the Bass U TV app. Unlimited access to 700 plus training videos. Multiple new releases each week, including seminars, on-water videos, live shows, interviews, and other original content. The Bass U TV app. Never stop learning.
I'm pro angler Andy Montgomery. I've been making my living with Strike King products for a long time. So when they showed me the new tour grade line, I was all in. I knew I could trust it. What I didn't know was how easy it was to use. With the spooling tool and the prepaid envelope to recycle your old line included in every single box. Not only is it the best line on the market, it gives you the easiest fishing experience possible. Find out more at StrikeKing.com.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain, being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
4 days of competition. Glad you're with us here today. Happy Friday to you, enjoying some Bassmaster live fishing competition at the very top of the sport. The elites, that says it all. Here at Lake Champlain, an iconic fishing destination which has proven its reputation again and again since we arrived yesterday. Started fishing Sunday. We'll have the final day for you. That's Championship Sunday. Starts on the app at 8 a.m. Of course, it starts here on ESPN2 at straight up noon Eastern Time.
Slowly starting to see that top 10, looking at the weights, averaging about 18 pounds a day right now, but really look for that to still sneak up to that 38, 39 pounds by the end of the day, I believe.
When you look how close that top 10 are, just 4 pounds and change separating the top spot from the 10th place. And that's one good keeper here One desirable keeper. Boy, a 4-pounder always makes a difference as far as this tournament goes. Uh-oh. Seth Feider.
What's going on in the background?
Oh, we've got
Is that a hyena?
Somebody was getting a tongue lash.
Not a bad one. What you got me around that?
19 3/4. We are live on the net.
19 3/4 what?
Oh, I thought you said, what did I have you at?
Oh, no.
Wow, getting a little chippy in the boat with cameraman Eric Kafka and Seth Feider. Buddy Gross hooked up live.
It is her. So far. She'll cool though.
That's what Buddy needs. Needs a good call here.
Oof.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I thought it came off.
In the tongue.
Wow.
Gross started out in the second spot today. He's off his pace from yesterday, that is for sure. Had over 20 yesterday.
Skinny. She's weight.
Will help the cause.
That is a good
Big
one.
set.
It's one of the bigger largemouth that we've seen written, not today, the last 2 days. Big largemouth for Buddy Gross. Slow going, but steady upgrades.
He may jump 15 spots with that call.
Hey.
That's a 2-pound plus call.
Red and green.
Getting a little bit more breeze on the water now.
See if one of them gained weight while we was going.
Micah Frazier on the left. You heard our own Davey Hyde say, watch out for this guy for the next couple of days.
It's a good call right there.
That is a big call. That's a 2-pound call.
Thank you, Lord.
About 15
Absolutely.
spots.
Big help for Buddy Gross right there. And Micah Frazier is hooked up.
He should jump into 7th.
We'll have to get
I'll
with,
check that and make sure.
We'll have to get with Gross and figure out why he sets the hook and then points his rod straight at the fish and just winds him in. Like, no matter where it's at. It's like not.
I saw that.
It's not prototypical, but it works. He's a champion.
Thought
But it
the
dry.
same
I'm
thing.
like so confused.
And I see all 4 green bars on it, so.
Let's go back and ask him.
I think we have Micah Frazier, talked about it earlier this morning. Micah Frazier with a lot more than he says he has in the live well. Again, weights are all very unofficial.
16.4 is what he's listed at.
No,
According to
it
Bass
is
Track.
not what
no,
he has.
No, he's not what. Okay.
It's not what he has.
Copy that.
Pitching on them. It's not worked out that way.
Seth Feider fishing right outside of what's called the gut. Separates New York and Vermont water.
Come on. Come on. Finally just moved. Oh my gosh!
Oh.
Oh. Broke it off.
No.
Oh, I don't know if that was a bass. Could have been a walleye the way it was head shaking, but oh, brutal. I would have liked to have at least seen it to know. We'll just call it a walleye. Sharp teeth walleye. Oh my goodness. Brutal. Weights are too tight to be doing that.
Polinick, you see in 8th place right now.
Yeah, because Buddy
Same
Gross,
thing I've
that
been
fish
throwing all day.
went 4 pounds 10 ounces and jumped him into 7th,
Throwing that
right above
slammer.
Polinick.
Gosh, I don't
it sure looks like a bass right there. He didn't go all the way down though. Oh man, I don't know.
It was rare because in the years of
What
covering
that was.
Polinick, I don't think we've ever seen him break a fish off on a spinning. Ever.
No.
Ever. Ever.
It's big, whatever it was.
Started his career up in Idaho fishing Coeur d'Alene. He used to clear water and light tackle and stuff like that.
How many bags over 20 you think there's going to be today?
Ronnie?
That's a good question Seth Fighter just posed. How many 20-pound bags today?
I'm out.
Z
I'm not playing that game with
Z
y'all.
nailed it yesterday.
Yeah.
He said 4, and that's exactly how many there
Seems
were.
like the largemouths are really biting, man.
Well, see, I think that it's just unfair. There was 4 guys
one dang
within
near
a couple
everywhere we
ounces
went.
that would have made it 8, like I said. So I just
Sure.
It's all subjective.
2 guys at 1913, and I believe 2 at 1912.
Could you let everyone know kind of what you're tying up there and what your setup
I think there'll be
please?
5.
This is a crazy Alberto knot. Super simple to tie. But the reason I do that is because we splice braid to a fluorocarbon leader. So throw the braid, because it's super small diameter for its strength. So it's 15-pound Cigar Smackdown. But then I can tie it to an 8-pound leader, because it's only got the braid has a 6-pound like fluorocarbon or monofilament equivalent, and it's for the diameter. So you're able to splice those together, and the braid being smaller allows you to manage it better on a spinning reel.
Looks like those scissors
I don't
have
really
been
like
around for a while with you. Those are nice.
Yeah, I've had these pair of buck splizzers for a while. I didn't like that one though. We're gonna redo that. When I was cutting that, I nicked it a little bit. But the fluorocarbon is clear, so it helps when you don't want those fish being able to see your line attached to your bait. You want it to look as natural as possible. So by splicing these together, get the best of both worlds. There, that one's better.
All right.
AFCO
Taste the Bait. AFCO Taste the Bait, a special edition for all you knotheads out there, courtesy of Brandon Polinick. Jamie Hartman's still on top. Seth Fighter, we just saw him. He's kind of poking around. He's just kind of doing some surveillance for tomorrow.
He's definitely slinking, creeping it real, fishing right outside of the gut. But again, a little bit of time left to upgrade, which will be critical by Sunday.
Yes, especially for some of our anglers will be critical today. Those looking to get into that 40 cut. We'll be right back.
The Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain is being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
At Mercury, we invested thousands of hours of engineering manpower so you can enjoy hours and hours of untapped horsepower. Introducing the all-new V6 Mercury Pro XS. Light, quick, efficient. Mercury, go boldly. At Mercury, there are no limits to what we'll do to make sure you have no limits either. Introducing the all-new V8 Mercury Pro XS. Light, quick, efficient. Mercury, go boldly.
It's been said that a bad day of fishing is better than a good day at work.
Getting you to that fishing spot is key. And Bully Dog gets your truck road ready. No matter where, we give you the horsepower and towing torque right when you need it. We make getting there better. Make your ride a Bully Dog.
You don't know their names yet, but you will.
When I'm on the road for work or for fun, I always like to have a reliable generator around. This open frame inverter from Champlain is ideal because it's lighter than a standard open frame generator and more affordable than a traditional inverter. The remote start helps me start up the generator or shut it off without having to leave my camper. It provides essential power for things like charging my boat batteries, also makes life a lot more comfortable for myself and my family.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain, being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
Lake Champlain, what a place. Vast, beautiful, situated between the Adirondacks to the west, the Green Mountains of Vermont to the east. Plattsburgh, hats off to Plattsburgh, our fantastic host city, kind of the last jumping off place as you're heading north in this part of New York.
To Montreal.
Before you go into Canada.
Yes.
On your way to Montreal. What a wonderful town, wonderful fishing community here, and just a great community all around. I'm running out for these anglers who are trying so desperately to make it into the top 40. Keith Combs now, the guy just under the bubble. Matt Herron, he's just in. All of the above, all the people you see right now need to really work as hard as they can, put as much insurance in the live well as they can to make it into the top 40, because the alternative is you're done after the weigh-in today. Weigh-in starts again at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We will start with 40. Start new, keep our weights, and begin a third day of fishing tomorrow, 8 a.m. And the app right here, of course, pick up with ESPN2 at noon. Go for 3 hours.
Back out with Seth Fighter right now, and Seth Fighter actually been fishing around this man-made barge right here. This, wow.
That's a good one, though. God, look how fat he is.
He just say no help?
Yeah.
His smallmouth are way bigger than we think.
Yep.
He's just too short.
It's got a cold.
He's thick like a biggin, but obviously he don't weigh nothing.
Says he's got 2 fish that weigh 3
Saw
pounds,
Whitey
4
was when
ounces.
they come out. I'm like, heck yeah.
That's a good one.
$3 1/4.
Yeah, he's got a little better than we. Yeah, that just painted a picture right there.
If his smallest says 3 1/4
Yeah.
and he catches a 3
2 of
1/4
them.
and he doesn't even try it, no.
Yeah.
Nope.
He doesn't even bounce beam
Yeah.
it. He's at 19 pounds, 12 ounces on bass track.
Let's go 21.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
You're
Your
talking
leader.
about,
then.
this is moving day. Austin Felix, who started like 60th place with 16 pounds, is the first one on bass track to 20 pounds. He's at 20 pounds even.
Oh.
He's jumped to 12th place. It's a pretty good move, I'd say.
Yes, sir.
Just so I can throw it anywhere. Like right now, I'm fishing pilings. It's all wide open. I wouldn't be able to flip this straight braid here. A lot of the milfoil I'm flipping's a little sparse, and the docks I want the straight braid, so, or the leader. And basically, just so I can fish a a 7-foot medium heavy, real comfortable rod to use all day, real light. I get all the advantages of the braid with all the advantages of the fluorocarbon, you know. Fish can't see my line, but when I hit them, I don't got to hit them that hard because I don't have very much stretch.
Solves the riddle a little bit, solves the riddle that fans were wanting to know about Seth Feider and why he does braid to fluoro, and you hear that clicking in his reel and in his line when he's fighting a fish in the boat. But
And what's really surprising, what you're talking about right there, his entire setup is he uses a much shorter and softer rod than your stereotypical way you fish this. A lot of times you use a little bit longer, a little bit stiffer when you've got that 30-pound braid.
I got a BFA.
Uh-oh.
Big fish alert. Jamie Hartman, he's out of range. He's over in the Vermont side. He caught a 4-pound, 12-ouncer he put in there. He's at 20 pounds on the day, 42 pounds total, and 1 ounce. He's about 2 pounds, 4 ounces ahead of Feider right now.
Was out of range, but we have a way of getting it, you know, back to us so we can show it to you. Hopefully be able to do that in short order here.
If that is the case, and Seth's going to be potentially playing catch-up of maybe 2 or 3 pounds, you'll see Seth not back off them at all tomorrow.
And I think that I could see why he wouldn't press him today.
Yes.
But with tomorrow, by the time he gets the bag that he wants, it's midday. You only have a day and a half left. You can push on him a little bit more because you're not needing 10 fish to go to weigh in over 2 days. You only need 5 more after that point.
That right there, that shot right there, there has been so many, whoa.
Bridge going up.
So many bass caught through that cut through over the years.
Wow, perfect timing. Z, you mentioned it with Feider about he uses a softer rod, a shorter rod. That is across the board on like everything. If you get in Seth Feider's boat, what you would normally throw for for a vibrating jig, it's a lighter version for his. For flipping a jig, it's even lighter for him. So it's almost like he's one size down from what you'd expect.
Not only that, there's been big smallmouth caught there, but there have been some giant largemouth bass caught off of that cut through.
And this is stuff that probably isn't a part of his main pattern. These are all just, he's just kind of fishing, and if he gets a giant, it doesn't affect his overall pattern because he's not burning any fish that he was needing.
Gonna have a couple sailboats passing through there.
That was a really good point, though, in the Humminbird Lay of the Lake with Davey Height talking about the traffic that's going to be in these marina. Look, summer lasts like 7 hours up in this part of the country.
Maybe a little.
And they're going to take advantage of the weather that is predicted on Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be a little bit of a circus come mid-morning tomorrow.
Yeah, I would think, I mean, potentially busiest day of the year. Like
Up there,
Champlain.
up there,
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's going to be beautiful tomorrow. High of 83, mostly sunny.
I'm
Light
surprised
winds.
there isn't more recreational traffic today. We haven't seen so much. A couple of boats passing through under the drawbridge right there, but a couple of fishermen that Jamie Hartman commented on earlier today.
Not going to help.
You're going to sniff a help.
Thought for the second with the way it was leaned back on it.
Talk about that fish that Such gave us the BFA alert on.
Oh boy.
Just moments ago. We have received that footage. as promised, we are going to share it with you right now. This was a few moments ago with our leader, Jamie Hartman.
You gotta get that blue bag out of there. Yes! Go to my right jig, man. The old right jig pulls them through for me. Look at that hammer. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's 4.5. Whoo, that gets your heart going, dude. Oh, let's see how big it is. That's a toad. Oh my gosh. Oops. How about a 4? I don't know, 4.7. So that's a 4 3/4 on that scale. Yes. Yes, let's get this in the drink.
That's what lives in the inland sea right there.
Man,
that fish was by far the best built smallmouth we have seen on camera all tournament long so far.
Huge fish for Jamie Hartman right there. He's been sort of asking for this one, well, for the last 5 hours.
Yes. Gosh.
Man, oh man. Yeah, that's 4.7, so that's, yeah, better part of 5 pounds. Most definitely for Jamie Hartman, and a huge upgrade.
We said it. This is going to be a tight one. That put a little bit of distance between him and Minnesota's Seth Feider.
And from 26 to 6, Kobe Krieger with 19 pounds. Just jumped in.
They're not reflected right there. Of course,
Not
these
yet,
are all
no.
these are all according to Bass Track. These are unofficial weights right now, but Bass Track's been pretty close to being right on in the last couple of tournaments. Nothing's official though till we get you to weigh-in time, and that is fast approaching, less than an hour for many of our anglers before they have to check in.
The Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain is being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
Your time on the water is precious. You return season after season to make unforgettable memories, fight a few fish, reconnect with friends, and recenter yourself. If you count on having this time, you need an outboard you can count on to power it. That's why boaters stay with Yamaha for the long run, for life. They know reliability starts here.
watching the Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain, being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
We are super excited because tonight we'll have our first NBA restart seeding games from the Disney bubble in Orlando. Celtics Bucks is at 6:30 Eastern Time, 3:30 Pacific, right after the Rockets and Mavs on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. Our coverage tips, as usual with NBA Countdown, that's at 6 Eastern Time tonight. Back out on the water, beautiful place, Lake Champlain. Jamie Hartman, big catch. We just saw it a few minutes ago. Boosting his lead ahead of Seth Feider, who Seth Feider, no slouch today. He has put together a wonderful 5-fish limit. He could well be over 20 pounds. These are all unofficial weights right now. Could be a lot closer than it looks. Ed Loughran, man, oh man, having his tournament of the year and just keeps climbing up the leaderboard. He's obviously onto something, and we will find out all about Ed Loughran tomorrow.
Do you know what this music means?
Well, yes.
Yeah,
matter of fact,
I know you do.
I do, yeah.
But let me tell some of our friends in case you haven't ever tuned into a Bassmaster Elite Series tournament. That's right. Jamie Hartman called for a 4-pounder. He said, I have to make one more solid upgrade. And we talked about it, and we got early this morning that a lot of the biggest fish in this tournament so far have come late in the day. We've seen major shots the last hour, really throughout our entire top 20. Seth Feider earlier today with an over 6-pound largemouth bass here on Lake Champlain, but this one right here, yes! Jamie Hartman in the Inland Sea, just outside of St. Albans Bay. You are the Power Pole replay of the day. Tommy Sanders, you see that? I ended it with a lot of punch, a lot of pop, a lot of sizzle, a lot of verve. Thank you. A lot of tone.
No flare.
Good one right there for Jamie Hartman. One of the biggest smallmouth we have seen so far, at least on Lake Champlain.
Big moment right there in the waning hours of day number 2's action on Lake Champlain. Back out to Brock Mosley, Mississippi's Brock Mosley, who does very, very well in the state of New York. In fact, all smallmouth environs. He's right at home.
Said I got bit in this grass. Last. That's some good. No, it ain't not. I thought he was bigger than that. Well, it's a bite anyway. Finally caught a green one.
Pretty much all green ones for Brock Mosley last week. Great tournament on the St. Lawrence. Stayed in the river, did not go to Lake Ontario. Most everybody focused on smallmouth. He focused on largemouth and carved out a 3rd-place finish. Admirable.
His 2 smallmouth were nice, though. One was a 6-pounder and the other was a 4.5.
Yeah, they help.
See, he's got, on his bass track, he's got 4 fish listed at 3 pounds, 8 ounces, and 1 at 312. How low do you think he's estimated?
Such, what I will say is looking at the weather and some of the calls, some of the big fish that have come in the last really 90 minutes, I think we're going to see as good of weights today as we saw on day 1, if not a little bit better.
How many over 20?
I will say 6.
2 more than you guessed correctly, I might add, yesterday.
I'm going to say we're going to go up either 5 or 6, either 1 or 2 bags over 20 today.
Is that from more anglers
figuring
Ronnie,
it out?
That? I want to go back to my 8 then. I just want to go back to my 8, but I don't know. I said 5, so I'll go back to 5.
Such?
Yes. You want me to guess?
Nothing.
I think
over
5.
Yeah.
Gotta keep them honest.
At least.
There's a good look at that milfoil. Brock Mosley concentrated on trying to catch one of those better than average size Lake Champlain largemouth.
When you get out past the vegetation, what does the bottom look like there? Is it as, it's not as light as it was at the St. Lawrence. It's not as, you don't have the bright patches, it doesn't look like.
No, it's a little bit more matted, but it makes a pretty distinct wall where you see Brock Mosley. But what's funny is just outside of where Brock Mosley is one of the probably the best smallmouth areas on the inland sea.
It's outer grass.
Fighters set the hook and missed.
Might have been another pickerel. Really cut my bait up. Attaboy. Get up there on the bank.
This tournament has had it all. I mean, lot of variety and so forth. I was kind of hoping for a little more topwater action today.
Yes.
Didn't really happen.
No. You know, what's funny is we talked about it, if you didn't join us last week, but whenever we're on Bassmaster Live, is you see lakes ignite at the same time. Really look at the last 60 minutes from the time we came on air on ESPN2. There's a little bit of a lull, slow here and there, but then it just starts firing all over the north side of Lake Champlain. We see that so much throughout the country covering this tour. When a lake turns on, it's almost like the entire lake fires.
Virtually everywhere is where we see that. That is, it's remarkable, and I have no explanation for it.
Yesterday we had back-to-back catches, including someone that was 70 miles from the other three competitors. There was 4 in a row. One of them was 70 miles away.
Ninth place right
line. It's only 8-pound Tatsu.
Got one just under 3 in the boat.
Nah, he's not gonna help.
Okay.
I do appreciate your efforts, buddy. Yeah, he's not gonna help. Good, solid, healthy one though. Felt good to get a bite and touch one again. Felt good to get one to commit. Man. Even though it wasn't one that helped us. Helps meant to just...
Well, again, much unlike last week at the St. Lawrence with that super top-heavy leaderboard spread out over several pounds just in the top 10. What a different story today. Of course, we've got a history out here on the Bassmaster Elite Series the last couple of years of 10th place being able to overcome all sorts of adversity and gain the trophy at the end of the day. 3 cases in point, 3 guys who are in our top 10 right now.
All 3 that we are covering today. Very intense graphic right there. And a lot of the history of the Bassmaster Elite Series is, it used to be, I mean, we've covered a lot of these, very, very improbable to come from 5th place back and take a title.
That used to be the gold standard.
Earlier this season. Boy, Buddy Gross making a lot of our fantasy fishing friends very happy with that comeback. Ron Moore, you picked him. Shane Dog at 419. Big fantasy move for Buddy Gross in that event.
Jamie Hartman. Remember him last year, Lake Gunnersville. Coming from what, 6-7 pounds back, something like that? No, was it more than that?
I think it was 7,
7-2, it just said.
And what was really weird about that tournament, he landed on the mother lode really the first 90 minutes that final day to seal the deal in a very, very harsh final day weigh-in.
And you had two different anglers, Matt Airy and Chris Zaldane, both losing key fish at the end of the day that would have given them the win.
Last year, most of the competition took place in the St. Lawrence River at the St. Lawrence event. Micah Frazier started the day in 10th place, not really on too many people's radar during the day, and just quietly, he'd been a numbers guy all week long, catching probably more keepers than anyone, but not really putting the big size together to be at the top of the leaderboard the final day. And he actually just wiped the floor with him. Took the lead, got his first victory with the Bassmaster Elite Series.
And there's a bunch of it right here. They just come through some grass here. It's not millful, it's cabbage grass, but it's thick enough that I just picked up this heavier jig, just trying to flip it to see if I can get one that might be sitting down in there to bite. It's, you know, them stand-up towers like that smallmouth like to hang around them, largemouth will get up and bury up in them. And I'm just trying to make something happen. And then you got mixed rock piles in with this stuff right here too. This is a bunch of cribs in this area. They use it. They might not be here right now, but they use this area a lot. By itself. Oh, there's another small one though. Thing's pretty.
Well, that one's not going to help Buddy right there. He did make a good, meaningful call, say half an hour ago, that really helped his cause right there. Yes. Good looking one in there. Buddy Gross, he's got experience up here. Hasn't had particularly the success you might really ideally want to have, but this week, this time around, Buddy Gross is having a much more enjoyable experience, that's for sure.
Elite Series champion from Georgia, Buddy Gross. 21 pounds and 2 ounces. How about that, buddy? That's had to be fun.
I tell you, this lake's had my number every time I've been. I finally got something going today. I just hope I can keep it together for a few more days.
We'd love to see you all the way through to Sunday.
Buddy Gross, definitely a player this week, this time around, definitely a player this year of 2020 on the Bassmaster Elite Series. Started this day with the lead. Bassmaster Angler of the Year points, and you can't do much better than that. Jamie Hartman right there in that race with him. Seth Feider in the top 12 in that race as well, in second place right now. Ed Loughran, Scott Canterbury, last year's champ in AOY. A star-studded top 10, and only 10 will fish on the final day. We got to get through day 2 first, though.
The Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain is being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
What do a taco and a taco truck have in common? Nothing. If you want to play, you need a Tacoma.
At Mercury, we invested thousands of hours of engineering manpower so you can enjoy hours and hours of untapped horsepower. Introducing the all-new V6 Mercury Pro XS. Light, quick, efficient. Mercury, go boldly. At Mercury, there are no limits to what we'll do to make sure you have no limits either. Introducing the all-new V8 Mercury Pro XS. Light, quick, efficient. Mercury, go boldly.
Groundbreaking designs, unsurpassed quality, and unshakable confidence. Welcome to the Ranger Z500 and Z100 series. Leading the industry for over 50 years, these rigs are custom crafted and loaded with more features and advantages to deliver the ultimate ownership experience. The legendary Ranger Z series. Unleash next level performance. Mercury, go boldly.
Introducing the Bass U TV app. Get the most out of your Bass U TV subscription and learn on the go with the Bass U TV app. Unlimited access to 700 plus training videos. Multiple new releases each week, including seminars, on-water videos, live shows, interviews, and other original content. The Bass U TV app. Never stop learning.
Pre-collision system, standard, on the 2020 Tacoma, so you can go from one epic playground to the next. If you want to play, you need a Tacoma.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain, being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.
We continue our live coverage of the fishing, the bass fishing at the highest level going on right now. 2020 Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain, Plattsburgh, New York. Our host city will host the weigh-in. Not too long. Starts within the hour and almost within the half hour. Big battle right now, and it has been for the majority of today has been the two top guys, Jamie Hartman and Seth Feider. They've been back and forth, lots of lead changes, but for the longest time, Jamie Hartman has been, at least unofficially, ahead of Feider, sometimes by ounces, and he made a huge upgrade a little while ago and has lengthened that lead, expanded it.
A couple of the names we've not seen in the top 10, Ed Lochran, Kobe Krieger, taking a look at the Battle of Lake Champlain. Jamie Hartman and Seth Feider, two guys that were on a lot of fantasy fishing rosters. Ron Moore nailed that earlier. Gosh, you look at Seth's weight, you have to wonder, number one, does he have a little bit more? Number two, did he back off a little bit early today? We're going to get the whole story after the day two weigh-in there with Seth. But you know, Tommy Sanders, Mercury move of the day, the official engine Mercury move of the day is going to be Jamie Hartman, starting on a spot he did not on day number one. He actually ended the day right here, caught a big smallmouth late yesterday. Jamie Hartman landed on the mother load of 3.5 to 4 pound smallmouth. And Seth Feider going into the inland sea over on the Vermont side and catching a giant.
Oh my God. Oh
Lake
my
Champlain largemouth bass.
Oh my God, come here. Come here! Woo! Oh my God. Oh my God, it's a 6 pounder, dude. Boom!
A lot of us thinking that's a little bit bigger than 6 pounds.
Where's Noah?
Or whatever it is, it lit up the whole place right there. That was a big moment.
I gotta tell you though, this fish right here just minutes ago, Jamie Hartman called for, he said, man, I need a 4 pound or better smallmouth. Really has stuck to his smallmouth game a lot longer than we thought he would today. Fair to say, we're gonna give it to you. Okay. Jamie Hartman going to the inland sea, which we had not seen a lot in the last day. That's the Mercury move of the day, my friend.
That's a big solid one. As you said, that's the best built looking one we have seen since we arrived on the scene here at Lake Champlain. Jamie Hartman was even later. That one was late in the day. Even later yesterday, he caught a good region of 4 fish to bolster his limit.
Man, I fished this the other day in that south wind on that last day of practice. It was every cast. But I sat where they are, throwing this way. That's a giant largemouth.
Wow. Barely hooked. Barely hooked.
It's not as big as I thought. It's got a drop shot. Dude, this year has been crazy for me.
He did this that you followed.
He's got a drop shot hanging out of his deal. He's got a hook all the way down in there. Now, do I leave that for extra weight? Look at. Is that not crazy or what? He's skinny though. Man, I don't know if he's gonna take him out because he's so skinny. If he was fat. Prove me wrong. Prove me way wrong. Yep. 354. Okay. That helps. Look at this. I got this other line all over me.
3.5 is the smallest on Bass Track.
That should be this one right here.
Brandon Polinick hooked up.
Digging and digging and digging.
The whole time it's chill.
I don't think he's gonna help either.
He weighs more now than he did before. That's all right. He gone. 354. 328. Okay.
Quarter pound.
Quarter pound, that's something.
Come on. Just trying not to rush it. Yeah, he's not gonna help. Come here, buddy. Damn. Hey. He's not gonna help, but getting some bites. Yeah, I don't think he's too short.
Something interesting Jamie Hartman said when he was weighing that fish he was throwing back, he said this one weighs a little heavier than it did earlier, which is important for folks at home might not know. You catch a fish, you weigh it, it's under stress. You know, it's just like if you just got off the couch and ran to the other end of your property at your house, and then you just like, you're breathing, everything's all tensed up. When you sit in the live well, you're more relaxed, you get back and everything's more natural. You may weigh more, you may be longer. And so for these guys that are eyeballing fish when they're throwing them back, maybe throwing back an ounce or two that they may need in the standings later.
That is in there. That's why they're here.
Couch outside?
That's why it's mixed.
Yes.
Rock and grass.
You don't have an outdoor couch, Steve?
No, I don't.
It and see what else is down there. These here are the same things.
Man, Brandon Polinick
coming straight to the top. And he's going back down. That one's a decent one. Oh no. Oh no. We got the right equipment for it. That's what you want in your rod. That's why I throw this DSR. You want that good parabolic bend to absorb that shock. Yes.
and actually surprised. You see Brandon Polinick mining this deeper water in the inland sea, and you see Jamie Hartman fishing a lot shallower. They're only about a half mile apart, which is doing something totally different.
I don't know. It's a little short. Someone's coming in hot. I had him hooked really good.
You know little Noah? Noah that Seth Fighter was referring to?
Mm-hmm. I don't think he's
His
gonna help.
dad
Like
just
that
messaged us on Facebook asking him for the clip, so he knows that he's been on the live show. They've been enjoying it. They shot some video of all the pros coming in the areas today. Good deal.
Having a good day?
Yeah, he's close.
Maybe a slight upgrade, maybe not.
They're biting.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
It has been an exhausting day of fishing. Seriously.
There's been a lot to absorb.
If you want to catch them, go here on vacation.
Yeah. So much to do around here, so beautiful. You like the outdoors. This is your part of the world for sure.
About that one.
Man.
She ain't bleeding. Skin, she's weight.
Gorgeous water, great weather, at least today, for sure.
It really is insane. You don't see a lot of 5-pounders on this lake this time of year, but my gosh, the 3 to 4 pounders that we have seen just the last 7 hours.
What a cavalcade. Take a long time to count them all up. We're going to count them all up and get real official weights put on each angler. The end of this day, the weigh-in, which starts at 3 p.m. It is quick. It's fast approaching. We got some more for you when we come back.
The Bassmaster Elite at Lake Champlain is being brought to you live by Skeeter Boats.